Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Game Week 13 live stream, Fantasy Championship Manager. Sorry for the delay. I don't know whose fault it was, but sorry for the delay. FPL Gills, I still haven't learned from last week. It is back again. I don't know why they put us together again, mate. I don't know if we did such a good job last week or everyone else is unavailable, but it's us two again this week.
I think it was the latter. I think everyone else was unavailable. Benno had got some ironing to do. He was definitely like that, isn't he? So he couldn't make it last minute. So happy to step in. Good to be here. Hope you're well. How's your team looking this week?
I haven't really had a chance to look through the lineup. I think I've got the full 11 up, which was the main thing. I only had 12 available, and one was Nolan, who I had no real want to play. So I was really hoping I could get the base 11. I think they're all in. So I don't think it's as good as some teams I've seen around the Discord, but probably enough to at least sort of keep an average rank, maybe a small green or something, hopefully. As we've started a bit late, we best rush through these lineups. We obviously... We talked enough last week through the lineups when we had a full quota of 30 minutes. God knows how we're going to do it in 20 minutes, but we'll give it a go. So we'll start with Arsenal-Chelsea. Maybe not much to talk about with Arsenal. Nice to see Van Bronckhorst back in midfield. I think obviously playing numerous positions in the sim. Quite good there. Not much to the team. It's quite predictable, I would say, for Arsenal this week.
Yeah, it's looking like close to their best lineup, and I think it's the first time that Lescott and Campbell have been together. So I think it'll be close between Arsenal and Chelsea. Maybe they'll nick it 1-0.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see how they do. Then on to Chelsea. Obviously, Desai is injured, so there was obviously going to be a change in defence. I quite like Kennedy, who they signed before, obviously from Celtic, but they still haven't picked him, even though Desai's out. There's a little shuffle around with. They seem quite keen to play Holden, don't they? They played him left back last week when Babayaro was out, and they've obviously found a slot for him again.
Yeah, it looks like he's got higher reps, so he's starting again, right back, Melkit on the centre. So they're looking pretty weak down the right-hand side, so might be good for Tikhonov or Ashley Cole owners attacking that left.
We get a full 90 from old man Zola as well. Obviously, he's usually someone who likes to go off, maybe doesn't play the 90 very much, but now they've sold Gronkia to Middlesbrough. There's no real backup on the right midfield to Carboni now, so he's playing there. Do we find out who Domenico Fumarolo was on the bench? Is he a right midfielder, or does he play somewhere else?
I think he's a kit man. They just shoved him on. I have no idea who he is.
If he doesn't play right midfield, then Zola's going to get the full 90, it looks like, unless somehow Dalabona plays there or something. But that's probably not good news for Chelsea. Might be good for Ashley Cole in the later stages of the game.
If anyone could do a bit of Googling and find out who Domenico Fumarolo is, if he's a regen, or I imagine he's probably one of the youth players.
And then Aston Villa, no Melberg. I don't know if that was expected, but he's not around. So Alan Wright's in and Barry shuffled across the place. Wright and Mills with up arrows as well. So not bad. No up arrows for the midfielders as a result, Hendry and Hadji, but first choice otherwise, doubling in again over Balaban. Pretty weak bench for Villa, I've noticed, looking at it pretty quickly there.
Yeah, apart from Balaban, yeah, he wouldn't want to be bringing any of those on with an injury, to be honest. I think that Melberg is unhappy. Has he put in a transfer request? I'm not sure. I definitely clocked that he wasn't going to play. I can't remember why. If anyone can just let us know in the chat.
Our captain's just put for Marolo as an attacking midfielder left centre. So he might come on for Zenden, if nothing else. Villa's bench smells a little bit of a mini rep, but the first team hasn't really repped, so maybe it's not a rep. There's obviously a potential rep game at home to Man City. So, but yeah, I don't think there's any real rep in that team. Then on to Man City, that looks like first choice. Completely first choice. Oaks in goal again, though.
He's not even on the bench.
No, all these goalkeepers, and Colin Hunwick still managed to find himself second choice. So I've seen a few rogue goalkeepers. Liverpool have obviously got a rogue goalkeeper this week as well with Dudek away on international duty. But a few interesting goalkeepers on benches today. Yeah, Hunwick is one of them. But no real changes at Man City. Look at the second batch of games. So Everton Norwich first. There was a potential of big rep here with Pembridge leaked. We wasn't sure if it was just going to be because Gravison was away that Pembridge would be a straight swap, whether it was insight into something, say a bigger rep. Doesn't seem to be. Although GX is playing it's not really a sweeper role, is it? It's the middle of the back three with an up arrow.
Yeah, Yeah, marauding centre back, I think a bit like Rio Ferdinand used to. Well, it's back three, but yeah, you sort of push into the centre. No real surprises apart from the one with the leak. Titoff's got the up arrow into the middle. He's not done much so far this season. I wouldn't expect too much from him today.
I don't like this Everton defence. From the attributes pod I did with Luke the other day, I know Pablo Paz didn't actually get a mention on there, but he's not a great centre back. So he's in there. And GX, who obviously is someone who plays in about 50 positions. I don't think a centre back in the middle of a back three is the ideal position for him either. So I think they've got two quite bad centre backs here, Everton. Now they should have a lot of the game, most of the ball, and a lot of the chances, but maybe there's some hope for Norwich, especially if they're left forward going against Paz and GX. So we'll look at Norwich now. I'd have actually only got one forward and he plays on the left. So it could be quite a better game for James Marchant than maybe you would have foreseen before the lineups. Other than that, it's a really strange formation from Norwich. Is this the one we had before with, say, the left back running the full length of the pitch and the right back doing nothing?
Yeah, because it's Sean Dyche, you can't be asked. We've seen this kind of what they call it, the spiral formation before. It's strange. I don't know how the makers of the game came up with it because I've never seen anyone play anything like it in real life. But might be worth doing some research in a week to see how well this formation does do. I've seen a few teams do it.
Very lopsided. I can imagine if you had a really good left back, it maybe could pay off. I don't think Alan Rodgers is maybe good enough to justify all of the play going down the left. So it's not like they had. I'm trying to think of a good example, like Roberto Carlos or something. You could see if they had him playing left back, it might work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carlos and Salgado or something at Real Madrid. Give Carlos the big up arrow and make Salgado just basically not move, and you're okay. But not Rodgers, I don't think. But
no.
Kevin Nolan with a back arrow as well for anyone forced to play him. Luckily, I don't think I am. He's my only playing sub this week. But I don't think I'm going to need him. But it's not ideal seeing that. On to Ipswich. Lucky for Gary Breen owners, if you need him, he is playing this week. Again, their defence had a bit of a shuffle. Doherty and Breen playing. Again, I don't know if this is a bit of rep. It won't be rep, will it, at home to Liverpool? It's not rep. It's just rotation of a lot of players that are all capable of playing in the same position. Prutton's not there today. No Haridason. It's those two that are two big absences to allow Doherty and Breen. First, probably the best midfield three, maybe Fotheringham, Redknapp, Holland. Although Chippo's played well when he's played. They've got a lot of centre mids on the bench as well. So if you've got a centre mid playing for Ipswich, there's probably quite a good chance they're going to get taken off here.
Chippo's quite good in the game. He does really well. But yeah, obviously his rep's just not high enough to be playing. They've got too many centre mids. He'll when they play the formation with the defensive midfielder, he'll often play there. I don't think he's worth bringing in. I just don't think he plays often enough.
And then anyone playing Tarico, it's a small up arrow for the wing backs. I've got Clapham down the other side, so a small up arrow as well. Stewart and Armstrong, the two up front. Then on to Liverpool, first choice defence for once because Hegam's away, I think. So that's the first choice defence with no Hegam. Say Dudek also away. So Dave Atkinson, that's a typical regen name if ever I've heard one. Dave Atkinson has made it onto the bench. Partridge doesn't start. He's on the bench. I don't know what that means moving forward. Other than that, it's probably first choice. Probably not much to say about Liverpool really there. I don't know if anyone's really playing any of their assets this week. I don't know who's really owned from Liverpool at the moment, to be honest.
A few people probably left with Risa in their teams, but yeah, not really anyone is there, to be honest. I think Huppier will be good going forward, but not, maybe from next week onwards.
On to Leicester. Obviously, a few people would have targeted this game at home to Watford. Anyone that went Scowcroft has been rewarded. AMC with an up arrow. Could have played in a few positions. Centre mid with no right midfield was a possibility as well. So he's got the up arrow from attacking midfield. Bad news for, well, I don't know if it's good or bad news, but Joby McAnuff also was an option to maybe play up front. He's just on the right midfield with no arrow. So you probably could have hoped for a bit better from him if you went him. Damien Delaney, another player someone might have punted on, hoping maybe he played left back or something even, but he's in centre mid. I don't actually know what's better against Watford, left back, left mid or centre mid. Obviously, all three were potential with him. Centre mid's still okay against Watford. I'm not sure.
I found from looking at the lineups against Watford, I mean, it's a small sample of 8 games, but centre mids have done well. Almost as good as the left mids, and you'd arguably say better than some of the strikers, because I think the strikers are shooting from long range. Right mids haven't done so well. So I think Mokoku said that Darren Eady, no one asked for him, but he did really well in the sim data. So anyone who did maybe bring him on a free hit, seeing that, he may do well this week.
Yeah, no up arrow for him either, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah, that's really it for Leicester, I think. So there's a few people, anyone that went Benjamin up front, I think have been lucky. He starts over Sturridge. That was a 50-50 call probably. And I say McAnuff maybe hasn't got the best of it. Scowcroft, you'd be quite optimistic if you went him. On to Watford. This is probably first choice now. Well, obviously no Helgeson, but from all the players that have been available lately, this looks like first choice. Pitcher in the middle of the three again, which is good, I think.
Yeah, got two centre mids on the bench. Got Swannell and Fiskin on the bench, but yeah, this is their best lineup at the moment. I still think Johnson may usurp Pitcher when he comes back in about 6-7 weeks, but yeah, Pitcher's still the best 4.5 out there at the moment. And then you got Vega at the back, which probably makes them slightly better. They'll probably concede 3 rather than 4 today.
On to Man United, no striker on the bench for them. So you're pretty. I know if worst comes to the worst, Nedved's been known to maybe move up front. If they wanted to shuffle it around, they could involve him in pushing him up front or something. But no Andy Cole, no Paul Scholes. Other than that, first choice. Only the sort of small up arrow. You may have hoped for the full length, but we've got the small one. Other than that, is first choice for Man United. Van Nistelooy on the left, which is quite important, I think, in this game. We'll find out in a minute why. Because if we look at Bolton, Hendry, I think, has got really good stats for positioning and things like that. So I think you're better off against Dunn, even though in the pod with Luke, it said he was really good for tackles. I think you've got more scope to do well against Dunn than what you've got against Hendry, and Van Nistelrooy is against Dunn. So that's probably good news for anyone that's captained him today, which I have. So I'm quite happy about that. Other than that, with Bolton, small up arrows for the wing backs, and Young is playing in midfield. Don't know a lot about him, to be honest, but he's in Shimmiker on the bench as well for future reference. I don't know if you've got anything to add on either of those two teams, Dave.
No. Man United is kind of as expected, more or less, and I think with Bolton, I don't know anything about that Stephen Young, but yeah, Bolton's lineup's pretty much as expected as well. Small up arrows. I know there's a few people who have got Gardner, weren't sure whether to start him or not. It's probably the one game where you probably wouldn't start him, but I can understand people that would.
Yeah, I might have probably had him first sub, and if he came on, I wouldn't have been overly annoyed. But I think this is the week, the one game you probably don't want to play him. On to Bradford, Sunderland, rushing through. Hoekstra is injured, so Jorgensen's playing left midfield. No Leonardson either. I'm guessing he's away with Norway. So Nathan Tyson is playing down the right. Jess still out. Other than that, it's as you would expect, I think, for Bradford. And then on to Sunderland. Again, this looks like, Jacob Larsson, I think, is probably away as well. So Dobson is in at right back. Other than that, not much to talk about with these two teams. The assets people care about are all starting. Phillips against Brooms. Interesting battle tonight. Obviously, he came out all right on the pod in the week, Brooms. So we'll see how good he is tonight against Phillips, whether we can keep him quiet. But an interesting one to look at with Phillips playing against a defender who's known to be doing quite well. Then finally, Newcastle Leeds. Fuming here because, I say, Bernard, the left back, gets injured. So I finally think, that means Bernard's going to spend more time at left back, and somehow they've dug another left back out from somewhere, and he still gets to play left wing. Olivier Bernard.
Good old Michael Ball. I've seen a few people saying that they think Bernard's a dead option, but I still think you're unlikely to have started him this week. I haven't. I've got him first bench, and I might have him coming in. But if you are still rotating him with, say, Issa, his next 3 home games, which he will still likely play left wing like he is tonight, are all still good. I don't have the fixtures in front of me, but I still think he's a keep. If you've got him, don't be getting rid of him. To be honest, I think that still is a good option.
Yeah, it's a hard one for me. I'm very much in the mindset he gets an attacking return or he gets 2 points. I don't really see him getting bonus points.
So next week he's away at Tottenham, so he'll be then home to Villa, then away to Man City, home to Coventry, then away to Blackburn, home to Ipswich. So I think he's got a great run. So
possible batch of clean sheets there.
Yeah.
No guard either for Newcastle. I don't know if he's away. I'm not even sure what country he's from, to be honest, but he could be away. So Dabby's asked with Griffin. Griffin, say, isn't the best centre-back for a lot of things. So I don't. Is Viduka up against him? Is Viduka on the right? So Griffin's playing left centre-back. Yes, Viduka is playing on the right. So Viduka against Griffin, that could be a big bullying mismatch. I've got Viduka emergency captain, which isn't obviously necessary, but I actually think he could do quite well tonight, Viduka against Griffin.
I took Viduka out for a hit, which is dangerous. So
Yeah,
I could get punished.
Other than that, with Leeds, Hart in because it's an away game against a reasonably high rep team. So I think it was quite likely Leeds wouldn't have had the full length up arrow as for the wing backs for that scenario. So Hart, we know, has got more scope to play with the either no up arrow or the shorter one. They've picked the shorter up arrow for this game, and Hart is in. No Harpel Singh on the bench either, so it's 493 in Hart. It looks like.
Yep.
Then
does Harry Kewell sometimes appear on the left if they have the full up arrow in case Hart gets injured?
I don't think he can play wing back.
Might be McPhail, I can't remember. Captain saying in the chat that Gardso did feature for Denmark, but Gronkia did not. So good news for Gronkia owners.
Yeah, I think Luke's pointed out in the Discord that Denmark play a formation that doesn't suit Gronkia's positional attributes. Bit stupid to call him up, really, if you can't play him anywhere in the system. But there you go. They've obviously called him up and then can't use him, which is a bit stupid. But anyway, we digress. Other than that, I think we predicted Leeds wouldn't have an Aparo for the AMC. So IMR was pretty likely to play AMC, and that's materialised. And Robbie Keane and Harry Kewell were always the two most at risk, I think, moving forward, and they're both on the bench. McPhail was leaked, wasn't he? And it's Bowyer with him. That could have been Bowyer, Kewell, Bakker, Decor, Batty. There was a lot of options.
Yep. We got 5 minutes and 2 lineups to go, so
we're doing all right.
Let's get the last 2 out of the way. So Middlesbrough against Tottenham.
So they've obviously in speculation here what they would do. Would Whelan go up front with no Boxic, or was Selakovic going to play as an AMC? They've gone with that. Selakovic AMC. Gronkia, as we say, does play with a small up arrow. And as expected, I think for most people, Johnson shifted over into the middle, especially with Miller out. But I think we was kind of expecting, I was probably more thinking it'd be Johnston and Selakovic in central midfield and Whelan up front. But Whelan is on the bench and Selakovic AMC and Marinelli is brought back in.
Yeah, I thought the same, but then Makoku's, and I think a couple of people, Sim Data said Selakovic would play more often. So did we think Marinelli was going to play centre mid? Because obviously he's not playing at all, and now he's in with the up arrow. I don't think many people are loaning him, but
this could be the team for a few weeks now. I don't know how long Boxic is out for, but this could be the team for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
Southgate's obviously got one more game after this. Is he suspended?
Can't remember. I don't know if he's back next week or not.
But yeah, Pearce is at centre back. By the way, there was obviously the potential that Fester could have shifted over to centre back and Gordon came in or something, but they've gone with Pearce at centre back. And then quickly on to Tottenham. You can talk through the absence of Mr. Wood.
Yeah, I told everyone that Wood would definitely play and Rushbury was he definitely wouldn't start. And of course, Rushbury is up front and Wood is on the bench. So shows what I know. But I'll blame the AI for that one. Otherwise, you got Fortune on the left. I don't know is Etherington. I was expecting Etherington to start. I don't know if he's injured or not.
You got 4 assists last week, didn't you? And they've dropped him.
Yeah, that's not good enough. They were expecting 4. Otherwise it's the lineup that you would expect. Revrov back. I don't know if Revrov is still flagged on 90%, but he starts. So
it's an interesting bench. They've got 2 centre backs and 2 strikers. So not much. I think Bunchachevic can maybe play central midfield. Obviously, the likes of Ziga, who has got a bit of versatility about them, and Simon Davis could maybe play on the right if something happens to Signo Anderton. Yeah. So I think there is a chance to shuffle around a bit, but yeah, the bench isn't most diverse.
I don't know if we've got time to look at our lineups before we start. I think I was on a -8. Were you as well?
No, just a -4. So I did Weather all out. Obviously had no game, and then some away games coming up as well. I turned him into Honcho. Middlesbrough got quite good games, and he's got quite low ownership. So someone with a bit of extra value, maybe if he gets a good return. And then I did Perez to Nedved. Makoko Sim Data suggested that he was going to get potential high average this week. And with Giggs out, I think for the next 3, it seemed like a no-brainer to own Nedved through Watford and Norwich, I think it is after this.
Yeah.
So just them. I was debating taking Good Johnson out for Libra to free up funds for future moves, but I haven't done it. So just the -4.
Yeah, it's my second -8. Both times it's been when I've been on here with you. So I don't know if it's just a case of wanting to show off because I'm on the stream, or
You'll
no.
be
It's,
all right. We
it's
joked
gone.
with Captain earlier that he obviously knows our lineups in advance, and he knows obviously who does well this week. And I joked with him, put the person who does the worst in the left chair, and I've been put there. So your -8 must work out all right because
I hope so.
I'm in the shit chair.
So I just decided I wanted to just to be a bit different this week, and I knew Veron would be a good shout against Bolton, and then next week. Is it Watford they've got next week? I can't remember who they've got next week. They've got Watford in the next 3, haven't they?
United next week.
Yeah, so, and again, centre mids seem to do well against Watford. So I thought, let's just go for Veron. So -8, took out Viduka, Chadwick, and I took out O'Brien, and I've brought in Veron, who have captained Rickard, and I brought in Gronk here as well. So yeah, it's a bit punty, but let's see. Viduka could punish.
Gone for Benno, right? You've taken Benno's place on the stream. You've done similar moves. It's the sort of thing you'd do, take a -8 to take Viduka and Chadwick out, 2 high upside players. So you definitely embrace the fact you've replaced Benno this week by making similar moves to him. I like that.
Good crash and burn. So we've got a few predictions in the chat for first goal scorer. I did see someone else say Veron, so let's hope so. Nedved, own goal. Dublin 7 minutes, Christie 7 minutes, Ruud 3rd minute, I can see that. Andy Martin, Tyson 36th minute. It's obviously just attention seeking.
35 minutes with no goal. It might happen one stream.
There's a few people saying in the chat they've not been in for a while, so it's nice to see some people making a return as well. It seems quite busy tonight. I don't know how many people are watching the stream.
Pete Carter's a touch optimistic. Zola 3rd minute. Chelsea probably only have 1 shot, and he thinks they're going to have it in the 3rd minute. So Nolan, yeah, that I think will piss a few people off if he scores first goal. I imagine he's on quite a lot of benches today. Games have kicked off. Here we go. All the home teams are going to go attacking. Surprise, surprise. Let's just let the game run through all of those in the first 1 minute. I think everyone will be attacking at home tonight. I can't see a team there. Will Newcastle maybe go normal? I don't know. Maybe not them. But
Ipswich go normal. Are they home against Liverpool, aren't they?
Yeah, they've just gone for it. They just flashed through as coming out quite attacking. I like that shout from Jake Cahill, 11th minute. Maybe not 11th minute. I think there'll be a goal earlier than that. But I think Cahill's got the scope to score. Obviously, Selakovic, ideal to be playing Tottenham so soon after leaving. Nice bit of additional comms there from Captain saying that he's getting booed in the away end. I'm trying to think. That's happened to a Villa player before. I'm trying to think of who it was. Literally left the club to sign for Villa, and his first game was against the team he just left. It's really it's going to bug me for most of the stream now who that was and who it was against, but pretty ironic to leave.
So Chris, I think everyone's gone out to attack by the looks of things.
Chris has just put no one talking about Villa. He's going Dublin 8 minutes. I think Benno's captained him. I was talking about captaining him. I think he actually went through with it. He goes Sunderland early on. Julio Arca, who I've wanted to own and haven't managed to find room for. And he scored. Of course he has. Of course he has. Almost got him last week. Very, very close to getting him last week. I went Perez instead, who obviously did well last week, so I justified that. But Arca was the other option. And he's got the return this week instead. Early Bradford clean sheet wiper. I don't know if people are carrying Bradford defenders. I'm sure you've got a couple in your 4.5 team.
I didn't get. I've got Arfex ad.
Okay, I think a few people were playing Gunnarsson tonight. Obviously, it was a home game.
Yeah.
Not that he was going to get the clean sheet anyway because he's clearly a midfielder in the game. But that extra 1 point's gone from him with the clean sheet wiped out.
There we go. I had the wrong window open. I completely missed the Sunderland goal, but I think I'm all right now.
Yeah, McCann's claimed a fake assist there because I think Arca probably picked the ball up in his own half. I think he's done a Ryan Giggs type dribble there against Arsenal in the FA Cup. But he's going to get the start for it, the assist for it, Gavin McCann.
Near Shakhtar in the chat, -4 Nedved for Arca and the emoji of that.
Ooh. I could clearly see the appeal of Nedved, right? It made sense for the next 3 weeks. Not sure I would have taken Arca out for him. I think I would have tried to find an alternative and not do that.
I get the impression he's taken Nedved out for Arca. Oh no, he hasn't. He's taken Arca out for Nedved. Yeah. No, I can understand why he'd have Nedved, but Sunderland still got a few good games, like you say.
Yeah, I think they're a good hold for a couple of weeks. Like even next week, they're at home to Arsenal, which maybe on paper doesn't seem great, but it's a sort of game they'll probably score 2 or 3 in Sunderland. Like I think the first 2 seasons, it's a fixture they've done quite well. Andy Martin just seen the replay, some goal. Yeah, I think it was reminiscent. I hope he didn't run off like Ryan Giggs, hairy chest hair, and waving his shirt around. Yeah.
Here comes Roy Keane. Well,
could have been a cheeky assist for Hugo Ekiog. That could have been. Forgot to mention as well, not more good news for Van Nistelrooy, which I hadn't actually considered in advance, but Jääskeläinen's still banned, isn't he? Completely forgot that he was banned for this game still.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine most people have got a Man United player captain tonight. So you've got Veron, I've got Van Nistelrooy. I'm sure some people having seen Makoko sim data may have punted Nedved. People have got York might have captained him as a differential captain, but I would imagine a lot of people have got a Man United player captain. Mm-hmm. I say in the man on sim data from Martin, I think Man United averages over 3 goals, and that's quite rare.
Yeah.
Usually good is over 2.5, but over 3 is 2-3 times a season sort of territory. And Man United were 3.1.
Do you think that's because they're playing a team that's playing wing backs?
That
makes a difference.
Yeah, I think it's possible. Like Pitts isn't actually that good either, is he? I don't know what Bolton play. I can't remember what Bolton play tactically. Are they sort of all out defence and men behind ball, all that sort of nonsense? I don't know if they've maybe if they play slightly more attacking, slightly more adventurous. That's obviously good news for Man United. They're not fully defence.
In the comms, it said they're looking to get men behind the ball when they kicked off.
Okay, so I say they've got good defenders, Bolton, but for whatever reason, compared to season 2, it's not really working for them that well. They don't seem that tight at the moment. They do seem to be shipping a few goals.
Yeah, they don't seem to be scoring that many. Their strikers don't seem to be doing that well.
I don't particularly rate either of them. I know like season 2, they weren't actually that bad, Rumberg and Wallace, but I don't think attribute-wise they're particularly good compared to what other teams have got.
No, Ramberg's one of those classic Scandinavian players on Champ who has just 11 for everything.
Daniel Curtis Arker is in my non-underhaul team. I'm guessing he underhauled this week. Maybe had Arker and then until this week and took him out.
I think there's a few people on overhaul this week as well.
Yeah, I've seen a few people. I think it was quite a good week with the Man United run, shall we say.
Yeah.
I think we've overhauled into it, like obviously some people have, or you maybe took a few hits to attack it and maybe overhauled out of it the other side. I know Deacon, for example, I think is quite keen to overhaul 16. So I think he's loaded up for the next 3 weeks and will overhaul out of it.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think 16 makes sense.
So that were the 2 options. There was a few people in Discord. Did Heskavo, did he go overhaul this week? He may well have done. I can't remember exactly, but I think he was one person that was considering it at least.
So if you overhaul in 16, you can get rid of your 3 Man United players, your couple of Sunderland players. You can bring in all the Leeds players that you might not necessarily have because I think they play Arsenal or Chelsea away the week before, something like that. So there's a few fixture swings. It does seem like a good chance. Oh, there's a goal. Man City.
That was one top, I think. It's a bit blurry on my screen.
It's very blurry for me as well.
It feels like maybe I'm watching it through the fog or something.
Yeah.
I think that was one chop who scored, though.
Yeah, it said Villa look asleep. And you got assist from, I can't even read it.
That's Anders Svensson, I think.
Svensson, right. Yeah,
this is a new challenge for us on the stream. We had the 2 the other week who had to try and do it 3 minutes behind real time. And us 2, we've got to try and do it with blurry imagery. So, I like the challenge. Just so I'll give...
Go on, Libra.
I'll give...
Go on, Libra.
Don't score.
Come on.
Don't score. Why didn't I take the -4 to get him?
Oh, it was ruled out. It was ruled out. It was offside.
Good news.
Oh, you love to see it.
We should. I say Luke gets a lot of stick in the community for doing so well, and all the transfers seem to work out for him. I was a bit worried before the game again because he had a transfer to burn in defence, and he went to Danny Mills.
Yeah.
And when I saw the lineups and saw Villa unusually went with the fullbacks with running forward arrows, I thought he's pulled another one off here. But the Villa clean sheet's gone early. So Luke hasn't benefited from his transfer. So I think it's clear he didn't know anything.
Couldn't happen to a nicer bloke.
Yeah, I agree.
And you couldn't, Luke.
Pep's got one chop in his draft team. I don't know if I'm playing Pep in draft this week. I hope not, if he's got one chop up front. I'm not sure who my opponent is this week. I was saying, I think before we came on in draft this week, I made 2 transfers and I got Delaney and Benjamin in for Leicester. Well, that's gone quite well.
So, how many people are in the draft league then? Because I'm not involved in one.
12 in this one.
Right.
So yeah, it goes quite deep. Most people haven't got like amazing teams. There's quite a lot of teams with sort of average midfielders, maybe some cheap defenders. It's not like everyone's got exceedingly good teams. But yeah, it's quite fun. Something a bit different every week to do that.
I imagine if you've got a good knowledge of the game, if you've been playing it a lot, then you can probably do quite well in draft.
I think the key thing is having 7 or 8 sort of permanent holds and then 2 or 3 players that you just rotate, maybe make 2 transfers every week and attack the fixtures. So like I had Helgerson with no game, he's injured. Went to risk Benjamin next week. I'll risk someone else with a half decent game. And then I got Delaney in defence for Weatherall because Blackburn didn't have a game. Here's Titoff.
Yeah, he's going on an amazing run.
Like Julio Arca.
Go on, son.
Can he finish like
yes.
he has?
Come on.
He's
his
finished
first
like,
goal.
What's going on this week here? Loads of dribbles through midfield and then a finish on the end of it. Not looking forward to what month we're in the game. Goal of the month's going to be fascinating this month in the game. There's 2 candidates tonight already. Maybe one chop did well as well. We obviously didn't we didn't see that goal.
So again in the Discord today, I was telling everyone don't get Titoff. Waste of time. He's done nothing since I've had him game week 5, and he's gone on an amazing run and scored a beauty. So again, shows what I know.
I think you've come across as a really nice guy, helped the community. Now you've decided to go. You've gone full hill, and now you're sending everyone down the wrong path, so you get all the benefit. I like it. Sucked everyone
Let's
in.
not forget I did a big long thread on how good Wood was, and then the week later, Selakovic disappeared off the Borough, and
you've gone
rubbish.
Full hill.
Here comes Hart with a free kick. If anyone's still got him, no, it's been saved.
Yeah, you can't have him now. I don't think. I think if you could risk Singh in the hope that he's probably going to play the majority of the good games, the home games against low rep teams. I think Singh's probably fairly locked in for a lot of those now. There will be the other away game that you'd quite like him to play like tonight, but I think Hart's most likely to play away games to higher rep teams, and understandably most higher rep teams are actually quite good. There are a couple of exceptions like Newcastle, but on the whole, Hart's going to play a lot of games where clean sheets are going to be difficult and attacking returns are going to be difficult. Singh's going to be in the good ones, right?
So, and he needs the joint highest scoring defender along with Tarico. So if he's only going to play in those good home games, Darren's got him, hasn't he? I can see if you've got a decent bench, I can kind of understand it, but I'd still want to go Kelly. I just feel like he just more nailed.
I think the thing is, you want defenders that can get big hauls. Like that's the appeal of Gardner. He'll get a lot of 2-pointers, but there are games he could get 3 attacking returns at a clean sheet. He has got that potential to get like 20 points.
Here goes
I think Hartwell Singh's probably got that. As you say, I think if you've got a 5th defender that you don't actually mind playing most games, maybe it is Bernard. Is it really the worst thing if you have to play him in an away game you don't really want him to, if Singh doesn't turn up? If you've got a 4.5, if you've got Pitcher or Nolan, and you're happy if they get thrown in if Singh doesn't play like tonight. I think most people are looking at sort of regular starting defenders, but if Singh plays 26 games this year and all the good ones, where he's got higher chance of clean sheet and some attacking returns, maybe you'll get enough points in 26 games to match supposedly better defenders who'll play 34 or something.
I can see the logic. Here goes Doherty. Oh no, Kirkland saved brilliantly. So I think I can see why. I think a lot of people will get Chelsea defenders in next week because Chelsea didn't have 3 home games, and of course makes sense. But then after that run of 3 homes, they then have a run of 3 away games, and they're not very nice games either. So I just wonder if it is a good time to bring in a Chelsea defender, or do you just have to go through the pain of benching one or having to make another transfer in 3 games time? Because I don't like to make defensive transfers, or do you go for a Leeds one instead?
Well, this was one of the reasons I wanted to turn Good Johnson to Libra for the extra hit, because that would have freed up 4 million and would have allowed me to upgrade Clapham. And probably I would have gone to a Chelsea. I've got Desai, but I would have maybe gone to Terry or maybe risk Babiaro if he was going to be playing fullback in some decent games. Hey, we've got a visitor on the stream.
Somebody wants to say hello. Say
Is
hello.
it bring kids on
No.
time? Oh, goal. It's Watford. It's not Gifton Noel Williams.
Gifton Noel Williams. There we go.
Didn't see the assist. Maybe Tommy Smith. I think that sort of came as a bit of a blur. Yep, Tommy Smith assist. I think my daughter's gone out of view. If she was still around, I would have brought her on. But she could come and slack her head on. We'll turn it into a crash this stream for 2 minutes. But
and my daughter's on Veron captain as well.
Is she?
Yeah. So I've got Gifton Noel Williams captain in my 4.5 team, so I'm pretty happy with that.
He's decent with it. I don't think attribute-wise he's amazing. He's got a knack, hasn't he? And he's done it in previous seasons, the odd games he's been called upon. He actually seems to not do too bad.
Yeah. So he's 4.5 along with Gale, and I got the impression that Gale on maybe pre-season Sims was going to play as often as Noel Williams, but it seems like in this version of our game, Gifton's getting involved, and I think he's a better striker than Rushbury or Wood, and he's done really well every time he's played. He's been scoring quite a few goals, and when I got Libra in last week, I nearly got Noel Williams in for this 2-game run, and went against it. I don't think he scored last week, but it's obviously then gone and scored this week. I think next week Helgeson's back though, isn't he? Which is why I went for Libra. I feel I can hold him for longer.
Yeah, there's a few good ones in the chat. The gift that keeps on gifting from the Smith. Gifton Goal Williams from Graham. What about gifted Noel Williams? We could have gifted Noel Williams. We could change it to as well.
I see. I always feel like Tommy Smith, you could potentially hold him for quite a few games. He just seems to be in and amongst the goals a lot.
I really like him. My problem is I don't want 2 Watford attackers, and Pitcher's just such good value for money that I think he's the one that makes sense to have as your first Watford attacker. Which, say, you could roll with double Watford every week, and it's not the end of the world. They've obviously got scope to score most games, but I don't think I really want to.
If you want Pitcher, you need to get him now because he's only really guaranteed another 6 or 7 starts, and then Johnson's back. I mean, the thing is, Pitcher might have done enough, and his rep might have increased for him to then start over Johnson that's Richard Johnson when he comes back. But if you don't jump on him now, it might not be worth it in a couple of weeks' time.
Well,
and his Pitcher with the yellow. Can you imagine that, everyone getting him in, and then he gets sent off, gets a 3-game ban, and everyone has to jump off him again. Once Pitcher's not an option, I think Tommy Smith's a great shout. Mikey's saying that he's kept him and he's pretty happy for me recommending it. That's the one thing I got right this week, was recommending keeping Tommy Smith.
I'm waiting for him to join Chelsea. In a lot of season 3 sims, I think he does go to Chelsea, and it obviously make more sense now. He's a forward right centre. If they're short on right midfielders as backup to Carboni, obviously having him as a potential backup right midfielder if it got desperate would be no bad thing. I know the game doesn't work with that sort of logic, but it's quite often he can go to Arsenal, but Chelsea is quite a common one. There's Titoff again, quickly, just to break up. He scored again. a double for 5.5 million Titoff. Christie owner's annoyed, I think, because I think a lot of people went him instead.
Let's not mention what country he's from.
No, I'm not going to. If you don't, I won't.
No, I won't say anything. No.
There's an assist there for, that looks like Di Matteo.
Di Matteo, yeah.
So, I don't know what his ownership is, Titoff. Less than 10%?
I can tell you in a sec. Let's have a look.
But, good haul.
He, if you own him and Nolan, a lot of people do, who maybe wildcarded in 5 like I did, the next sort of 6-7 weeks, Titoff and Nolan rotate really well with a plum home fixture. So I nearly got rid of Titoff this week, and then I realised that you'd want to play one of them at home each week, so I got rid of. So I did a different move instead, but I wouldn't, even though he's not been that good, I wouldn't get rid of him yet, especially now he's scored a couple of goals.
Prime example of not playing form, playing the fixture.
Yeah,
we've had enough examples already, but here's another one. There's a few interesting messages in the chat this week about him. Elliot, Titoff looking top heavy. You like that one? Double for Titoff. There's bound to be some sort of message around 2 and tit. I'm sure I'm not good enough. Maybe someone else can do that.
Colm, get this tit off the YouTube, please. I don't know which one he's referring to.
Probably both of us, probably.
Yeah. Right.
Seems quite. Moyes just put 6.5% ownership. It seems to have gone down quite well.
6.5. Faster than me, Moyes.
Oh, is that Leeds?
Can't see. It's so blurry. Darren
Darren
Eady. There we
Eady, I
go.
think. Oh, clean sheet wipeout for Matt Zedis again. Unexpected clean sheet wipeout.
So yeah, Moukoko nailed it.
Not quite sure. That looks like Robbie Savage with the assist, I think.
Here come Man United.
19 minutes without doing very much. Van Nistelooy, yet again, I don't think he's had his name on the screen yet.
Yeah, I've seen Roy Keane have a couple of shots though.
I think he's underlooked at Man United. Obviously, the few more fashionable players, aren't there, with Veron and Nedved and stuff. But Keane does play centre midfield as well, as you've mentioned. Like tonight, Veron's got no up arrow, so him and Keane will have pretty much identical license to get forward, won't they, and have chances. And you're paying a lot less for Keane.
The problem with owning Roy Keane is that he just gets 2 or 3 red cards a season.
Bradford reduced the shooting from 40 yards already in a home game. I'm surprised that he's not gone in from Jorgensen.
I've got my game file open. I've got my Stalybridge Celtic save, and I just searched for Tommy Smith, and he's gone to Celtic, annoyingly.
Yeah, I'm not Tommy. Yeah, Tommy Smith. I'd say Chelsea's quite common, and I don't think Forsell's amazing in this game. If he goes to Chelsea, he'll obviously have a bump for new signing. He'll be in a better team. I think 7.5. He'll become very popular. I think if he ends up at Chelsea.
But then if he did go, and Watford didn't sign another striker, then Gibson Noel Williams would be 4.5 up front for Watford every week, and everyone would pile in on him.
Would they? I don't know. It'd be an interesting one. I say would have been popular. Would those people risk another one? It's
Titoff.
Ooh.
Oh, wide. So if you've got a 4.5 striker up front for a Watford who are free scoring, surely you'd want to go there. That's different to Spurs, who are rubbish.
I think it would be a good way of mixing it up. Some will still, I think, pay the extra million and have Libra, who's probably in a slightly better team. Some may want the third striker to be around the One Chop or Tommy Smith price point. If Smith goes to Chelsea, Smith plus Ricards plus Viduka or something. I think it will break up, and obviously depending on which price point you put your third striker will then depend on what you can do in midfield. So I think that wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing for the game to have a third striker that's fairly reliable at a cheap price.
So Pep made a good point on the chat. Pep Talk. Early Rushbury Yellow might be good news for an early sub for Wood. So if you have got Wood, you might be getting a 30-minute cameo second half.
Depends if people have got as their first substitute at the moment. If it's someone like Bernard, you might be relatively happy to just use him this week now.
So often when a player gets booked, their average rating drops down by 1 straight away. And then obviously if the player's on a 6, then they're liable to get subbed sort of early to mid second half. Interesting
point from Fantasy Connection. They're saying Everton strikers are running out the way of the midfielder. Obviously, the two strikers have got those arrows running to the two wings. Chance for Ricard quickly.
Here comes Ricard. Come on.
Was it the bar? But those arrows are only what players do when the team's defending, as far as I'm aware.
Are they? Because it's normally when they're attacking.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, sorry. It's attacking, isn't it? Not defending.
Which I struggle with. Yeah, it's strange.
I've confused myself now.
They're running into the channels, basically.
So when they're running away, maybe Titoff is getting free reign of the middle of the pitch because he's obviously running forward. He's running into the AMC role, though. It's not like Pedersen running into the middle of the two strikers into the box, is it? But
Gary Breen, the hero, I think he cleared it off the line from Heskey.
Or he might get he's in line for some bonus points maybe now then.
Potentially, yeah.
Key defensive punch up there, I think, at Middlesbrough. Alan Johnson
clocked Simon Davies.
He's obviously had a bad mental position all week, having he got a yellow.
Just a booking.
Rugby ref. It's a rugby ref at Middlesbrough. He must have been to say he's been in a bad mood all week, knowing that Gronky has arrived and taken his position on the wing. He's been waiting all week to let out his anger, and he's decided to punch Simon Davies.
Marchant.
I think he'll score tonight. Marchant.
Yeah.
He's my rogue pick to score, having seen the lineups and who's in direct competition with. Maybe Norwich will go for it a bit as well if they're 2-0 down.
Pete Carter saying moving to Gifton if Smith left would be a no-brainer. I think it depends on the fixture runs, because sometimes you get fixture runs where there's just a ton of different striker, like premium striker options, where you really don't want to miss them. Then you get other kind of 2 or 3 game banks where there's not really that many options. There's like maybe 1 premium, and so it does depend.
Well, Luke's just clearing up the Arrows confusion. Arrows up or sideways when the team has the ball. So yeah, not ideal for Everton, for example. And back arrows when you do not have the ball. So
then, if you've got the ball, if Everton have got the ball, the strikers are running away from the goal. I think that was Chadwick having a shot there.
Yeah. Here's Van Nistelooy, first chance. He's put it wide. I wonder if this is very technical and I don't know what happens, but if someone's on man marking against the striker that's running away, do the defenders run with them?
Over to you, Luke. I have no idea on that one.
So the whole goal area could be vacated by the strikers running out wide and the man marking central defenders running after them. He basically had no one in the penalty box. Probably not.
So I would imagine not many people have got many returns yet, because the goal scorers have been pretty
Titoff
low
only.
owned. Titoff, that's it.
Maybe Arca.
Yeah. Don't imagine anyone's on one chop or
possible Tommy Smith for assist as well, isn't there, for some? Go on, Oncho. Go and do something good.
Go on, Rickard.
This will be ironic. Johnson gets an assist 2 minutes after punching someone.
Yes. I nearly vice-captained Rickard. I didn't want to miss out on Ruud.
Alan Johnson with the assist. Standard.
Shouldn't be on the pitch.
Serini clean sheet wipeout for Serini owners as well.
I had the choice of Serini or Atmadzidis this week, away to Watford or, away to Borough, and it doesn't matter because they already both let goals in. But I went for the Borough game.
He was the other option, Rickard, for me. If I was going to downgrade Gudjonsson, I obviously didn't expect Gudjonsson to get anything tonight. So, but 3.5 really wasn't enough. I needed more than that to do other things in upcoming game weeks. So I was doing it more as a 1 week punt. So I decided against that.
So what do you do if you're in the top 10? And
Chancellor for Bradford, Ashley Ward.
You're in the top 10 in the standings, and you're 80 points behind Luke. You've got to go different, haven't you? You can't, because he's got a very template team.
Yeah, I think you've got recently. Some defenders that are different. I think he mentioned on the pod with me this week that there was quite a lot of defenders. Carlo Gardner being one example. The 2 Middlesbrough centre-backs being 2 other examples of players that have got more than enough potential to do well that he hasn't got. So do you load your team up with... Keep Desai because Luke's got him and I think he came out looking really good on the pod. But with Desai, could you go for Roque Jr., Hippier, Gardner and Tome or something? You've got high upside defenders, well, not necessarily high upside, but defenders with scope to get more than 6 points, and they're all ones Luke hasn't got.
Yep.
Then do you? I think midfields where there's a lot more choice to be different. There's a lot of midfielders between 7 and 9 million that at any moment could do really well. And I think a lot of people at the moment, I think some have moved off Wood now, and I think there's a fair few people now that have got an attack like Van Nistelrooy, Viduka, Rickard temporarily. Which, as a result, because that's so expensive, have now got 1 midfielder, let's say Chadwick, and 4 cheap ones. So do you take the punt in maybe having 2 premium midfielders rather than 1 and hope that you can gain that way?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's too early. It's obviously only game week 13, so I don't know if we need to be taking gigantic risks to try and make up 80 points yet. You only need to make up like 5 points a game week or something. It's not...
And
you can make that up just by picking a different captain, couldn't you?
Yeah. Luke tends to be the kind of player in FPL that he takes risks, doesn't he? But his team's quite safe at the moment. But Thierry Henry, and he saved it, of course. Yeah, I don't doubt that he will go for a few Maverick picks, of course, but yeah, I think you've got to go different. You've got to maybe, I don't know. I think he's taken his wild card recently. So if you're holding it, you want to try and maybe stretch it out a little bit longer, or watch when he's gonna use his wild card, try and be different. Yeah, because it's quite shocking, and I think he'll admit himself how far ahead he is, and everyone else is so bunched up. But he rightly say that he's just got really lucky with a few picks. They've just gone right every time. Like I think he got Ricard in this week because his policy was home strikers, and of course he scored. So
I think Luke's going to captain every week based on his philosophy. A home premium striker. I'm assuming he's captain Van Nistelooy tonight. He owns him. And I think he's fairly open as well. At most weeks, he'll probably put his team on Discord or he'll say in the spaces what he's doing.
yeah,
So you pretty much know who he's going to captain. So I think you go for the secondary striker to maybe hope, like Ricardo over Van Nistelrooy tonight. That's bold.
here goes Arca.
See, at the moment, you're doing a lot better with Ricardo than Van Nistelrooy this week.
Mm-hmm.
So you punt that way with the captain. Is Phillips. Ooh. So they're your option. I think you maybe go a bit different with the captain. Maybe even the vice captain will be enough. I say it's only 3 to 5 points a week. So a different vice captain may be enough to make that up.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to be going 5 or 6 differentials yet.
And where are you in the standings at the moment, Craig?
About 180th, I think.
It's pretty tight though, isn't it? You make that up, sure.
I've only used the wild card as well. A lot of people ahead of me have used at least a free hit. I think quite a lot of people. Some may have even used the bonus point chip as well, or I think some may have even used 2 wild cards. But I think that there's a fair number in the top 100 that have probably played a wild card and one free hit.
Yeah, I have. When do you plan on using one of your free hits?
No plan yet. Just when we need some more confirmation, don't we, about upcoming doubles? I think they've been penciled in, but none of them are, as far as I'm aware, confirmed yet.
Yeah, we're not going to get a massive double game week, are we? You tend not to in this game.
No, I think that last year there was a double with just 2. It was that Tottenham Charlton game. It was the only double, and I was tempted to free hit that week, and I didn't, and I should have done. It's possible if we just get one rogue double. If there's a week where a good team, or an average team even, gets 2 home games, let's use, I don't know which team to use as an example, Newcastle, more than capable of scoring. If they get Norwich and Watford at home or something, a double. I know it's quite unlikely, but not many people are going to go in with Hughes, Dyer, and Shearer or something that week. Most people know free hit wouldn't be able to get to that. Would I be better off using my free hit to really attack a double like that?
I used my free hit in game week 2 so I could load up on the teams that had home games 1, 3, and 4. And although it didn't pay off so much in week 2, it then meant weeks 3 and 4 I made a huge gain because my team was perfectly set up. And I just wonder if when you do eventually use that second wild card, if you could employ a kind of similar stance and just when there's a block of because sometimes you get teams where every team has back-to-back home games. There's a point in the season where it happens. So if it happens in game weeks 3 and 4, it probably will happen in game weeks 35, 36. So you could potentially look to free hit in 37 and then have, because they tend to play, or fixtures tend to be opposite, and then you could have home games for 35, 36, 38.
I think we've had already.
It's less maybe about the double game week, or it's more about just like the balance of the squad and how you can just go all in. Oh,
that might be Salakovic, I think. Salakovic against the former club. Didn't see the assist as a payder.
Yeah. Do you think Salakovic is an option? He's a striker, isn't he, in the game now?
Yeah, I still wouldn't go there personally.
Midfielder, you'd be all over it, wouldn't you?
I think Gronky is just going to end up being too good value now at 5.5. Him, a defender, could be Honcho, Southgate, or Atherton. I think one of those 3. Gronkia, and then probably
Viduka's got past Griffin. Oh.
Wide.
Blasted. He's one-on-one with the keeper, and he blasted a banana shot.
I think at the start of this season, I think Middlesbrough, I could have foreseeably had like 7 players I thought were good value. But I think there's going to be a template now of a defender, Gronkia, and a striker. I think it's going to be the way. I think the rest of the midfielders are really hard to own now.
Yeah.
When Gronkia is 5.5, you're not going to pay 2.5 extra for Zapata, really, are you? I don't think.
I'll be persuading everyone to get Titov now instead, the same price.
Well played, the Smiths in the chat. Zapata is his vice captain. Differential this week, but
nice.
An assist, yeah, decent. There's Nedved. Is Roy Keane again?
Nice to see Veron taking the throw-ins, for God's sake.
Man United are going to win this 1-0, and Chadwick and Veron will be the two players that one sets the other one up, because they're the two better owned players that I don't have. So it's going to be those two involved.
I'll be quite happy with that.
Preston saying Viduka. I don't know. Viduka is more than... He's doing all right for his price, isn't he, Viduka?
Yeah, he's not done too bad.
Fairly reliable. I think more reliable than Ruud. There's Matt Holland.
Matty Holland. Pirlo's beard, Vidu can't. Yeah, good. I like that. I think it's fairly rich calling Viduka a fraud. Thierry Henry's just been horrendously bad for weeks on end.
And Shearer. I don't think many people have talked about
injury for Watford. Central midfielder. That means it's not Pitcher. Petkov's off. Oh, an injured Petkov. Looks like ankle ligaments.
That could be like a month. That's not going to be days, is it? I wouldn't think.
No.
It's more likely to be weeks, maybe, if not a month, I would think, for something like that.
That kind of makes Watford worse, to be honest, doesn't it? Worst team.
I think it confirms Pitcher on all the set pieces if he wasn't already, because I think Petkov was in the hunt for some at least. I don't know who's most likely to play up the left of the three now. I don't know how significant that'll be either. But obviously Petkov had that role nailed down, didn't he? To the left.
They tend to rotate the other centre mids they have. Heskey's had loads of chances in this game so far. He's looked on it, hasn't he?
Graham, where am I situated? I'm in my conservatory, mate. Obviously, the wife quite likes having access to the front room, so I'm not going to be able to overrule the front room. And the other room I could do it in is right next door to my daughter's bedroom. And apparently, I can get a bit excited when I do well. So I don't want to start shouting and disturbing the little one. So
that's Steve Watson hitting the bar. That would have been a Bernard assist as well. So is that a pile of board games on the top shelf behind you?
Mixture of all sorts of stuff. My daughter's at the age she's 7, so she's into a bit of art and crafty type things. So I think there's a few sort of kiddies sewing sets and
kids ones, yeah,
make this sort of thing. There is some board games up there, Junior Monopoly we play, and a few other things. What's the other stuff called? Gravitrax, is that what it's called? It's kind of like Marble Run. It's like a version of Marble Run. She's quite into that.
Here comes
second header for Van Nistelooy and rubbish goalkeeper Evans. He's on the rebound as well. How's he got a rebound to his own shot and decided to spray the ball out to the wing? What's he doing? Go on, Nedved.
Nedved for York.
This is such a weird...
Veron went down. Oh, I thought it was going to be a penalty. Go on, Veron. On free kicks. Go on, son. Oh, that would have been big.
Carl's put, can't you underhaul the front room, Craig, if you don't want to overhaul it? I actually asked my wife if she wanted to come on, make an appearance and stick her head on, but she, I don't know why, but for some reason she said no.
My other half said, oh, can I come on? I want to come and say hello.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's all right, we can do a meet the family at half time or something. Pete Carter saying torn ankle ligaments. He's been very concise. He's 30 to 180 days, apparently.
Wow.
I don't know how that helps narrow it down.
Great bit of research from Pete Carter there.
Yeah, sprained ankles 10 to 30 days, torn ankle ligaments 30 to 180.
Toy chat right up my street, being the personal shopper of Hamleys. More please, Craig. Well, toys. I'm always impressed by Lego Mane when I see him on the because I'm in a group chat with him, and some of the Lego he does is unbelievable. I play Duplo pretty much every day with my daughter. that's what she's really into. But there was a lot of board games and stuff during lockdown.
Yeah.
I don't know if you did.
We try and have a games night on a Friday. Like we've got one elderly relative who lives by herself. We invite her around. We maybe get a takeaway or something else. But hang on, it's Bastidas. Goal for Bastidas.
1-0.
Clean sheet wipeout. Happy with that because I don't have one tonight.
That's good for you. Yeah.
Some people have been forced to play
Cudicini
Terry.
with a howler.
Yeah, no bonus point for him.
I had to play Terry at the back.
So yeah, we have a relative round on a Friday who finds the most basic ball games quite complicated. To be honest, she's been round and played Junior Cluedo about 8 times, and I don't think she still doesn't understand the rules. And like, it's not the most complex game going, but that's usually quite a laugh still explaining the rules and things. So we play that. We've got a few other games. I wouldn't say my games collection's the biggest, but we've got the main ones.
I've still got a Subutio that I bought for about 15 years ago, which is still in the cellophane wrapper, and one day it will be coming out. It's still completely boxed and brand new. I tend to play like quite a lot of things like Balderdash. Don't know if you ever played that before. That's pretty good fun.
I've heard of it. I haven't played it.
That's good. Risk comes out quite a lot.
Yeah, it's not my sort of game. Risk.
My dad taught me how to play cribbage when I was younger.
Yeah, I learned as a kid.
Yeah, and I've taught my missus how to play, so she can play. I've taught quite a few people over the years. That's a great card game, and not many people know how to play it.
Yeah, it's good. 21-2, 21-4. That's what we have to shout out, isn't it? Things like that.
15-2, pair is 4, 1 for his knob.
1 for his knob. I remember actually now. I haven't played it for a long time, that game actually.
So I can't even see it. It's so blurry. I can't see who scored.
That looks like Leicester. It's McAnuff, I think.
Oh, that'd be a popular goal.
I think it's McAnuff. I saw Joby, so I think it's McAnuff. It is, and a Scowcroft assist. Obviously, the 2 popular attacking players for those punting against Watford.
Yeah. Preston in the chat saying Settlers of Catan is clear. I've heard loads of people talk about this game. Catan, apparently it's really good. No idea what it is.
Never heard of it. Is it kid friendly or is it an adult game?
I don't know. Maybe Preston can share.
Is Van Nistelooy? That's 3 headers now, and he still can't score one.
Is Evans 4.5 or is he a 4 million keeper? Nedved looked odd on. Oh, he sent it wide.
Of course he has. I own him. Of course he has. You get Titoff running mazes around the team from the halfway line, and Nedved can't basically score an open goal.
Cobbler with Joby as vice captain, and Andy Martin as well. Yeah, I remember Andy Martin saying that he's vice captain in Joby McAnuff in the Spaces earlier.
I like it that people are doing that, not being put off by the fact he's 5 million and thinking I can't put one of the armbands on him because he's cheap. Because I think there is a tendency to feel like the chips the armbands are reserved for more expensive players. But it should be based on who's got the best game, really, not how much people cost. So I'm glad that people have been rewarded for taking a risk like that. We'll call it a risk.
Here comes Matt Holland. He scored. That's a Gary Breen assist as well.
Home to Liverpool. Maybe a few clean sheet wipeouts.
Yeah.
All the popular goalkeepers doing nothing. Obviously Kirkland's got no game, and Erat Matzidis, Kirkland, and Serini have all conceded. So
yeah. Daniel Curtis, Captain Veron, Vice Captain Ruud going well. Yeah, I'm in exactly the same boat as you, mate.
That's a nightmare, isn't it? 25 million on the 2 of the best players in the game, and neither of them get anything. Most people have probably got one of them. Pep Talk saying this, the fact I've got a left-hand screen position, that's the curse. It could be that. Are you doing much better than me at the minute, Dave? Probably. Have you got? I haven't got an attacking return yet. I don't know if you have.
Titoff. That's what I've got.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think I've got anything else. I can't see it. I've got Rickard as well.
You're flying, yeah. That's why you put on the right. See, all I've got is a picture yellow card, I think.
But I am on a -8, so.
You still made up the 4 points on me.
Yeah, so far that's not too bad. Come on, Veron.
I'm getting 50 bonus points, so it's all good.
That's it. Keep going, Veron. Keep going.
He's doing a Titoff and an Arca, is he?
Veron.
Titoff and Arca have done it. He's done it as well.
Captain, do not swap us round. Keep me where I am.
What is this? You're having an outrageous evening here. Yeah, what's that? 4 goals, including 1 from the captain.
Yeah, that's
what is it with these? It's dribblers night. This. When's Ricardo Gardner going to score? Dribblers night.
Is that Sylvester assist? I've got Sylvester as well.
game week rank of 1 coming your way.
It's going quite well so far.
There's Thompson finding Engel.
Here comes Hadji. Oh, went close.
I don't think I'm doing too bad for clean sheets though.
That's a dangerous game to play, saying that.
White Matt Z, this one's obviously been wiped out, but I don't count that. I think all my defenders have probably got clean sheets. Villa, Ipswich, Sunderland, and Middlesbrough. I don't think any of them 4 have conceded yet.
That's good.
So
have you got one 4.5 keeper, or have you got 2?
No, I've got 1. I've still got Tim Flowers as my other keeper from when I wildcarded game week 5.
So you're in a position where you could just bin off at Mazidis and just get either Headman or Kirkland, which are probably the 2 best options. Maybe there's a couple
I'm
others.
not getting Headman for definite. That's a definite no. If I need to make up ground, I'm not going to do it by owning him. He's the highest owned goalkeeper, right? He's one to take on and hope that he scores, start to fall back in line with expectation.
Mm-hmm. So you can just make the transfer. See, I've got 2 4.5 million keepers who are both rubbish, although they've actually been scoring okay. Serenely and Mercedes, they're both just letting in goals for fun. And I'm in a position where really I don't want to transfer one out for another, and I don't really want to have a 4.5 on my bench because then I've got too much money tied up. So do I just stick with them? I don't really see a way I can move off one of them, and I'd only really go to Kirkland, I think. So I'd have to make 2 transfers.
He's my plan. I think someone said earlier in the chat he's still only like 5% owned or something. Kirkland.
Yeah. If you went Kirkland and got Hoopier in, he had basically a Liverpool double up at the back. I think now they seem to be improving, although Ipswich have scored.
I think if we look ahead of the fixtures, then the next batch is okay, but it gets really good. I want to say from 21. That might not be quite accurate, but somewhere around then, there's a big swing in their fixtures. Liverpool.
Get their fixtures up now.
So I think there's 2 problems. One, everyone will be getting them then. Hang on, here comes Leeds. It's McPhail. You don't want to be getting the players in the same time everyone else gets. You need to try and get them 2 weeks early or something, right? And hopefully get some benefit.
I think there's a justification for bringing in Hippier now. They've got Blackburn home, Ipswich away. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong team. Everton home, Leicester away, Arsenal home, which is fine because 4-4-2 against 4-4-2. Bradford away. So it's 2 easy away games, easier. Then they got Man United at home, which they can do well in. Then Sunderland at home. So they need Chelsea away in 20, and then they got Watford away. Then they've got that good run, as you say. I think there's justification for getting Hoopier and or Kirkland now.
I might do that next week then, because I think I need to get Clapham out. I'm going to have to take a -4 next week, I think. Clapham out and someone else to free up money. Mm-hmm. And the logical move from Clapham would have been a Chelsea defender to go with Desai, double up for those 3 home games. I may have punted Babiaro to be different because obviously Terry's more highly owned. Mm. But yeah, maybe I can try and find extra 0.5 and get to Hippier instead. It's an option.
Yep. So yes, it's a tough one. So you've got to take a hit to upgrade that defender, basically.
Yeah, and really, I need to get a striker out to be able to afford it. Mm. And I've got Van Nistelooy, Viduka, and Gudjonsson. And Gudjonsson's now got 3 home games, and he's different. Van Nistelooy can't really go because he's obviously got 2 plum games coming up. It'd be wrong to sell him now, I think.
I think you could wait a week, bench him, Clapham, and then the week after, then when Leeds have got a crap game, you could downgrade Viduka and then do it then, perhaps. Then you can bring in
it back again the week after, though, isn't it? Because they've got
but then that's when Man United's run turns. It is a bit hokey cokey. You could then drop Viduka and drop Ruud and then bring in a Leeds striker, and then you could always do Larson.
I might just wait till I think I'm quite happy to hold Viduka long term as my premium. Mm-hmm. Can I hang on until Man United play that Sunderland away game and just use that week? And obviously that frees up money then. Mm-hmm. But can all my other moves wait that amount of time? That's the thing I've got.
Should we go through the halftime scores? It's not been a lot of goals.
Very not too bad actually. We've got 2 away teams winning. Quite a lot of clean sheets still knocking about as well, isn't there
Yeah.
here?
So Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0. So that's probably going to type as we'd expect. Villa 0, Man City 1. So it's a slight surprise there. Bradford 0, Sunderland 1. Again, probably the
50-50
better
game
team
probably
winning.
before kick-off, wasn't it?
Sorry.
50-50 game before
Yeah.
kick-off. Maybe Sunderland
Yeah.
marginal favourites, but
And then Everton 2, Norwich 0. Probably as expected. Ipswich 1, Liverpool 0. Slight surprise. I still expect Liverpool to come back at them. And then Leicester 2, Watford 1, yeah, as expected. Man United 1, Bolton 0. Probably going to get one more game, one more goal, Man United and shut that shop. And then we've got Borough 2, Tottenham 0. I think Andy pointed out in the chat that'll be McLeish gone very, very soon. And then Newcastle 0, Leeds 0. So pretty poor for anyone that's got any Leeds attacking assets. I expect them probably to get a few chances second half. But yeah, low goals so far. Quite a lot of clean sheets still sitting there.
I think there's a few. I'd be surprised if Leeds didn't get at least one. If you're looking for what you can not guarantee, but what's most likely to happen in the second half, I think Leeds scoring, I'd be quite surprised if that didn't happen.
So if Leeds score, then Newcastle might then have a go at them, and then that might then open the floodgates.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they tend to change
I
their.
haven't seen a lot of Larson. It'd be interesting if his rating is quite low here and he goes off for Robbie Keane. That could happen in the second half. I do think Leeds will get one. There's bound to probably be at least one more goal in the. What are we looking at here? There'll be at least one more goal in the Leicester-Watford game. I can't imagine that finishing 2-1. Leicester are not too bad at home for like 3 or 4 goals, are they?
No, they've done all right.
So I think they might be...
Leicester tend to either bang 3 or 4 goals in or don't score at all.
Elsewhere, Arsenal, Chelsea could easily finish that. Villa, Man City, you'd like to think Villa would score, but Man City aren't the worst away. That could easily finish like that. Bradford have already been showing themselves to be fairly good defensively at home, so that game could stay like that. I think Bradford will probably score, if I'm being honest. I don't expect Sunderland clean sheet in any away game, so I'll go on record and say Bradford will probably score. I don't know what Everton's current mentality is. Have they gone defensive yet or slowed down a little bit? I didn't see. Obviously, it was pretty hard to see on the screen when the goals went in.
No, I've not seen either.
But they could be winding down, couldn't they, and settling for the 2-0.
So in the chat, Smith's 1986, lads, do you think Leeds are worse off without Kuehl in the 11? I'm not the expert on the Leeds lineup. I see a lot of people talking about it in the chat. You seem to know a bit more about it than I do.
They obviously did really well when he was playing AMC, but the game isn't smart enough to know that they base it on attributes and reputation more than other things. And they've clearly decided that any game where the AMC's got an up arrow, that Robbie Keane's the preferred player. Not that he always plays there, but the preferred player.
I think to answer the question, Leeds are good whoever plays because they've got so many good players. It's a shame that Kuehl is going to get a lot less games.
Kuehl's clearly better than McFall. I don't think McFall's attributes are terribly bad. Like if he was at a team like Aston Villa playing centre midfield every week, you probably think he's a good addition to that team. Yeah. But I think he's a downgrade clearly on Kuehl in that role. But Kuehl's not a centre midfielder, is he? We obviously saw him in real life, what his attributes were. And he'll get by on this game because he's got a lot of high attributes for a lot of good things. But his best position in this game, let's not kid ourselves, is left wing in a 4-4-2. That's the position he has the most scope to deliver things. And he can't play that role for Leeds. He's best in the AMC role, right? And I'm not saying he won't play there again this season, but I think it's quite unlikely because he'll be behind Neymar in games with no arrow, and he'll be behind Keane in games with an arrow. So his chances of playing there are fairly slim, with obviously outside of injury or the odd little bit of rep.
So what do you think on Aymar now? Do you think he's worth bringing in? I've just not, apart from Viduka, I've just not even considered touching any of those Leeds midfielders.
He's got the same problem as Hart. He's going to be in the preferred position in the harder games. Now, he could still deliver something like tonight. But you really would rather have the player in the AMC position in the games that got the arrow, and it doesn't seem like he's ever going to have that. So he can do well from central midfield, but I don't think you'd want to be paying, what is he, 9 million, 8.5? I can't remember what his price is. But I don't think you're ever going to want to play that much for a player who's going to be playing central midfield in good games and attacking midfield with no arrow in hard games.
Yeah.
So you're getting a player who's pretty much nailed in probably the second best attacking team in the league. Arguably, I think there's probably a reasonable chance they'll end the season outscoring Man United Leeds. So you could argue he's in the best attacking team.
Yeah, the way Man United are going right now, then I would agree. I think Leeds just seem to be attacking more and scoring more goals. I think Viduka's obviously, we know about Viduka. Larsson's certainly an option. Bowyer, I think for 6.5 is worth it. The other ones, I wouldn't go near them. I think I was thinking about this week. I've got Hendry, 6 million. Is it worth, if I've got a spare transfer one week, paying the extra 0.5 for Bowyer, even if he's going to play a bit less? Is he going to get you more attacking returns?
I would, yeah. I don't think Hendry's amazing now. He's fairly steady, but for 0.5 less, you get Gronkia. I would expect Middlesbrough to score more goals than Villa. So for 0.5 less, you're getting someone who's maybe slightly less nailed, but he's going to be in a team that scores more goals. So I don't see why you'd have Hendry over Gronkia when you can save the 0.5. As you say, you could go up 0.5 to Bowyer and be in a team that will score even more goals than Middlesbrough. I think I just think there's other players at price points very similar to Hendry now who probably offer a bit more. I'm not saying Hendry will have these games where he gets double figure returns. We saw 1, 2, 3 weeks back. And he will still have 4 or 5 of those games a season, I would expect. But so I think there's too many cheap players now as well.
I've now got Hendry and I've got Gronkia. And I've got Titov. Plus, the only 4.5 I've got is Nolan, and then I have Veron. So obviously, he's got a bit of cash. So my thinking was to hold Veron for 3 weeks, then go to Pedersen in 16, and then I'll have the extra cash to maybe upgrade one of those midfielders and then downgrade another. So potentially, you could. I was thinking of going Hendry down to pitcher. And then I'll have the cash from Veron and the cash from that, and I can have 2 premium midfielders. I think if you've got Libra, you can have 2 premium mids. That was my thinking.
This is where it goes. So you can't, on the basis, you always want to play 3 strikers, which I think most of us know now you should try and do every week. Maybe if you end up with Wood, there might be occasions you might want to bench him for an away game if you go down that path. But I think most people agree you want to play your 3 strikers every week. And if you do that, you can never play all 5 of your midfielders because obviously there's no formation where you can play 5 midfielders and 3 strikers. So I think you'll go in and is Pitcher too good to have as a permanent sub? I think he probably is at the moment. Watford score quite a lot of goals. He takes set pieces. So I don't think Nolan is the ideal person to have in that role. Leave him on your bench. If one of your midfielders don't turn up, he may come on, but you're never really going to want to play him, even if he's at home. So I think Pitcher and Nolan are really hard right now not to have. Then you've got someone like Makhanoff at 5 million who has got plenty of upside. You've got Gronkia at 5.5. Titov, as we found out tonight, in games where they've got Everton are fairly good in home games. He's got potential to have an up arrow. He's 5.5. There's too many options right now, I think, for 5.5 or less that you wouldn't mind having. And I think there's even scope to have like 4 of them.
Isn't that great, though? And I think, credit to the boys who have, priced up this season. I think they've given us more midfield options and it's made the game more interesting because I think it got quite template last season. And I know it's difficult to put it together, but I think that they've changed like Singh to a defender, and anyone who's AMC they've put him as a midfielder. I think that's brilliant because it just does give us some more options.
Yeah, you look at say Thompson. I've got him for Villa. Villa are a fairly steady team. He takes some corners. Not the worst person just to have around to play in home games like tonight. Then you've got say Hendry at 6, then Bowyer at 6.5. There's quite a lot of ways to go about funding your midfield. And say some people may decide they want Pedersen, Chadwick, and Carboni in odd weeks or something, and that could well pay off having 3 higher end midfielders. So that's the balancing act. I think defence will be fairly similar in a lot of teams. I think Desai will be popular. I think Issa will be popular. I think Bernard will stay popular. Ekiog will stay popular. So I think a lot of people will have 3 probably same defenders as a lot of other people. It might not be exactly the same 3, but I think the pool of defenders to own is probably, if we're being realistic, 10 to 12. I think a lot of people will have defenders from the same pool of maybe 12 defenders.
Yeah.
Which isn't that diverse, really, is it?
No. That's part of the reason I went Silvestre when I wanted to get Man United defender, and even though it's 0.5 more than Ehiog, everyone got Ehiog. So I just trying to be a little bit different.
Yeah. So, but midfield, I think that the pool of players is a lot of strikers. The pool of players is probably about 12 as well, depending on how you want to fund it. Midfield, I think the pool is potentially more. So I think that's the place you may get some more differentials, especially if you're prepared to punt on a Titoff or a Simon Davies. I think people have gone for him already, have largely done quite well out of him. He's not a particularly highly owned player, is he, Simon Davies? But he's got scope to do well in good games. Jermaine Wright, another one.
Yeah, Simon Davies is a good player in the game, and he's his 3rd season now, so his stats have really come on.
So I think that's where you have to be, unless you're going to take a real risk on a defender that is not many people have got. I don't know, that is off the top of my head. Maybe it's Hippier early. I don't know what his ownership is, but especially amongst sort of serious players, I don't think it's going to be that high.
Let's have a look.
It could be a casuals pick, couldn't he, Hippier?
Yeah, it probably is, actually. It's my other half coming in saying, "Did you feed our daughter? She's hungry." I'm trying to think about Simon Davies. Okay, so
you need to get lucky, right? You can punt on defenders like Unsworth, like Hariderson. People like that may do well.
Yeah, Hippier is 6.5% owned, and we're underway for the second half.
In white and black, who's that mean we're starting with?
Bolton.
Yeah. But that's the decision a lot of people have got now, when to start taking risks and what constitutes a risk. Is it just captaining someone else, vice captaining someone else? Maybe punting on one midfielder. If you set your team up to have 2 premium midfielders, making sure one's a low-owned one.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're picking a different premium like Hippier. It only takes one player a week that's not highly owned to do something. Like anyone with Titoff tonight is going to make up good ground.
So
it only takes one player.
I just noticed that Watford are looking to get forward in numbers, so I would expect a few more Leicester goals. Yeah, it's all about getting on those players before everybody else does. So when you get in that wild card, just do take a few punts or get on players early. Don't just go get who everyone else has already got.
And if you can get one that does it in successive weeks, I think Luke said on the pod this week that it was Kuehl really that helped him get the advantage he's got.
Yeah.
Robbie Blake. Goal for Bradford. It's my clean sheet wipeout gone for Issa. I didn't think Sunderland keep a clean sheet.
I benched Issa, so I'm happy with
that. Jorgensen, that's a left midfielder who's gone off. I don't know who Lee is for Bradford. I'm assuming he plays left midfield then.
No idea who that is.
Yeah, I think left mid. But yeah, so Kuehl, low ownership, return in multiple weeks. If you can find, so that's the dream, right? A low owned player that can do it across 3-4 game weeks.
In the chat, Eric Onstad, anyone else on 0 returns, bear in mind, made a -16. I saw a few -16s flying around this week. Oh my goodness.
Someone was encouraging it in the Discord earlier. I think someone done it, and then I think to try and make himself feel better, tried to persuade about 8 other people to join him and do it as well.
Ashley Cole's ticking off. He one of those mazy runs. This looks like he squared the ball. Is this Henry? Oh no, it's Johnson. Simple finish. Andy Johnson.
Still nothing from me.
Ticking off assist.
Another 1 week too late. He was the other one I was championing last week with Arca and didn't do anything. He's got something the following week instead.
And I think it just said Johnson scored more than Henry already. My goodness.
Good game, right, for ticking off. He's got Holden, isn't he, up against him? He's by far the weakest defender for Chelsea tonight. No, Williams again.
Go on, son. Oh. So Arsenal have got a bit of a next 3 They've got Sunderland away, Leeds home, Liverpool away. So I can't imagine there's that many Arsenal owners. And then
No,
what do you do if you've got Johnson? He's banging them in. Do you keep him?
nah,
Probably
I
don't.
think
Do you? You probably get rid.
I was quite happy to keep Perez for this game. I thought Arsenal would probably win 2-0. And obviously, with that, you had a fairly high chance of one return. Hasn't happened yet. But I took a hit to do Nedved. I just couldn't turn down those 3 games. Even and the fact that Arsenal's games after this week were so bad sort of made it a bit easier to sell Perez.
I decided I wanted Varane almost a week ago, and then I saw you going about Nedved, and I saw the injury, and nearly today I nearly went Chadwick sideways to Nedved, and I thought, no, I'll be gutted if I didn't stick to what I thought. Scowcroft, oh, he's hit the bar. How often in this game do you see they hit the bar and then it goes out of play? When does that ever really happen? And
is this Wood? Yeah, he's on for
Rebrov off for Wood. Still suffering with that groin niggle by the looks of it.
I don't know if they had like extra thick crossbars in this era or something. Not like, I don't remember like reading stories about the crossbars and posts were thinner as time went on. But it's Kevin Campbell for Everton. He's at the crossbar as well, right?
Yeah. Hits a tit up. Oh, that would have been lovely. So Colm in the chat, Andre had always wanted to assist Danny Johnson. That's another one ticking off the bucket list. Love it.
Sylvester, another assist, is it?
Go on, I'll take that. Oh, yes, another assist.
That's been coming from Roy Keane, hasn't it? That's been coming from Roy Keane. He could be on for man of the match here.
Roy Keane's been unbelievable.
This is a biggie for Sylvester. What's these 12 points already if the clean sheets hold, plus maybe some bonus? This is a biggie. Then he's playing against the bloody Watford right side next week. Great little run of games for Sylvester.
That's why I got him in. So I risked it, even though he was flagged because he'd played those 2 games. I thought, well, I was eyeing up that Watford game, and I thought, I'm going to get him in.
Yeah. And it's Pitt, so up against Pitts and Thomas Neal 2 weeks running. Doesn't get much better than that, does it, for a winger? Or,
JB McAnuff. Savage right foot shot. Off the bar. How many times have we hit the bar?
It could be a pen, is it?
No. If anyone's
that's the sub there. Who's that? Oh, Delaney gone off.
If anyone's on the beers tonight, I want to hear about you. Have a sip every time the ball hits the bar.
Anyone wasted this week? That's a 1-pointer, by the way. Is it? It didn't make it to 60 minutes and he's conceded.
Who's that? Sorry.
Damien Delaney. Some people might have punted this week.
Dalabona on Zola. So he's a centre mid. Dalabona, isn't he?
Has he got scope to play on the right?
Well, can Zenden play on the right as well as the left?
Yeah, I don't know which of those. Is Lampard, Dalabona, or Petit got the potential? Have they got sort of a 10 or a 15 for right side? 14, because Nedved's got 14, I think, for right side and has played on the right occasionally. Maybe a Dalabona's got a 14 or even Lampard. Go on, Viduka. What are you shooting from long range for? I don't know why they find it so hard to get into the Newcastle box.
Highmore on corners.
Yeah, I didn't expect Danny Griffin and Michael Ball to be doing such a good job against Leeds' good attackers.
Cal in the chat. I've been having a sip for every return. We've got a full pint next to me. That's tragic. Oh. David Murphy.
He's just come on. He's been on the pitch about 5 seconds or 8 seconds. There we go. 4 million defender. I'm waiting for Andy Martin to come in the chat now and put some message about he feels sorry for Murphy captain us tonight or something.
It's a classic Andy Martin message. So did you see in the Discord? I've got my save at the moment. There's this player in my called Andy Martin. He's Andrew Martin. He's unbelievable. He's like player of the month every single month. He's got 20s across the board. He scored like a last minute winner against me.
No, I didn't see that.
He's still trolling me, even in not in real life.
Ramanathan's getting Danny Mills off his bench. Yeah, not ideal. 2 goals conceded.
Here comes Tommy Smith.
There'll be another goal in that Leicester game.
Yeah, definitely. Pitcher on the corner. Another corner.
Murphy's bitter about that one. Good one from FPL Panic, like that.
Very good. So, I'm sure I'll get abused in the chat
Murphy's
for this
bitter.
one, but I do prefer Murphy's to Guinness, especially when you go to Ireland. Oh, I absolutely love the stuff.
Oh, standard Ekiog booking. Well, that's quite important, isn't it? Yeah,
The
5 yellows.
suspension. Ooh.
Banfoot. When does it kick in? Maybe it's not Watford. It'll be the game. Will it be the game after? I think it's not immediate, is it? The booking, the bans. But that's going to annoy some people in an upcoming game week because get it out of the way though, right? At least he can reset. It's obviously been on his radar for a while. He's been blue on the site for a while, hasn't he? Being one away from a booking.
I've just been called a heathen in the chat by Colm for saying I prefer Murphy's to Guinness. So if you go to Cork, you can get a nice pint of Beamish Black as well. So what does that? There was Murphy was too stout to avoid the ball hitting him. Yeah, I like it.
I was going to say something about replacing that Lagan and Life character, Alan Wright, but I don't think that was quite. What was he, about 4'9" or something, wasn't he?
No, Williams. I can't see. It's too blurry.
No, Taggart's put him off. Jerry Taggart seems like one of those defenders that would just shout like "Oi!" as you're about to shoot or something to put you off.
Yeah.
If there's a defender that's going to do that, I think Jerry Taggart would be up there as a big, heavy Northern Irish accent. Oi!
So if you've got Ehiog 1 match ban, you probably just have to bench him, wouldn't you? I'm sure people will get rid, but that's just a frustrating benching for probably what's a good game for United.
Yeah, but I think it's just nice that it's gone. If you got to keep him long term, at least you know that he's not got that hanging over him anymore.
Mm.
Someone's just put, why is the score showing 1-0 Liverpool on the screen? Is it?
Sometimes on the box little, I've noticed a few times when I've been watching, when the comms comes up the top left box, sometimes wrong.
Okay. Yeah, it's got 1-0 right to Ipswich. Was it along the bottom, was it?
I don't know if it's. I can only see half the ticker on the bottom. It's when the comms comes up, you've got the there. You sometimes see it there.
Viduka having one of those games again. He could be on about 4 shots with no goal here. He scored now. There's the goal for Mark Viduka. You can't really moan. You've taken him out for Veron, who's obviously scored as your captain, so it's not the most painful for you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I like captain Viduka. I would have vice captained him. Yeah.
I had him as vice. I was quite happy to have him as vice until I saw the sim data where Nedved did so well, and I thought I'm gonna have to put Nedved vice.
Yeah.
And Viduka was like an ideal emergency tonight, playing away, so pretty much now to start and had some upside, like ideal sort of emergency captain sort of level, I think. But yeah, it was. This just looked like a massive mismatch game. Probably the most physically good striker. We haven't obviously done a striker sort of pod yet in terms of like similar to the defensive one I did this week, sort of in terms of attributes.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Viduka is going to come out maybe the best. I think his attributes may be better than Van Nistelrooy's for a lot of things. I don't know for definite.
I think people have different opinions on what the best attributes are for strikers, but my understanding is off the ball is the most important because it allows you to get most chances. Then it's finishing, and then you want either one with good jumping or good pace.
Got the young lads on. Hang on a second. The attacking midfielder left centre has come on for Babayaro.
Right, so that'll mean Zenden's probably gone right wing. He's gone left wing.
I've got a different theory. I'm going to say Petit has gone centre back. Holden has gone left back, and Melchiot's gone right back. Is what I think's happened.
Yeah, but you'd need someone right wing. I agree. I think that's happened, and I also think that young lad's gone left wing and Zenden's gone right wing, because you then have Dalabona and Lampard in the middle.
Yeah, that could have happened.
Yep. So yeah, Babayara is subbed before 60. That's a bit of a shocker, but I don't know if many people will still have him unless they benched him for a few weeks.
Very Kelly assist, by the way, for that Viduka goal.
Brilliant. So he might now be the highest scoring defender after this week if they keep their clean sheet.
He's come up a few times for me because I think he was there, ended season 2 with the most bonus points for Leeds defender. And so, so if you want that extra sort of game, not quite at the level of like the Chelsea and Middlesbrough boys, for example, but
I tried to work out in between the 2 seasons and who would be what was the best season 2 dead team. I managed to work one out. Trying to work out all the sub-ins, it was a nightmare trying to do it. But I worked out one that finished about 10th, and Gary Kelly was in it because his points per game ratio is so good.
Yeah.
Where did I see? So Darren Malloy and Murphy's is better than Guinness. Thanks, Darren. Glad and then James Mahoney saying Cork is your best hometown to get stout. So yeah, my distant family's from West Cork, James, and it's awesome over there. If you know Glandore and Ross Carberry. You go to a pub and they've got 3 different types of stout. Is that Libra yellow card?
Yeah, Libra yellow card. Craig's drinking a cocktail straight from the mixer. I wish I was, Colm. I'm still on Lent, so I'm still not allowed to have any alcohol.
Still on the water.
This is a latte. I'm allowed coffee as well as water, so I got a latte. This is like a latte in a travel mug. I hadn't really considered this as a cocktail mixer before. It does look a bit like it.
But this coffee, got pina colada in there.
I made this about 5 to 8 before we came on. It wasn't quite 5 past 8. It wasn't me delaying the stream by actually making a coffee. I was early, but it's still actually quite warm. So this is the best part of 2 hours old, and this coffee cup still kept it. I wouldn't say.
Are you getting sponsored by the company that make them?
No, I'd have the logo on this. So I had to. I peeled the wrapping off because I didn't want it displayed on screen. If I not my role to promote companies like that, so I've gone on with the plain one. Peeled all the wrapping off.
Craig Kemp sponsored by Thermos. For Ruud van Nistelooy.
Oh, rude.
Hit the woodwork again.
There's a change there. Ramberger's just made it past 60 minutes for owners. I don't know how many owners there are, all 3 of them, but he's made it past 60 minutes.
And his 17-year-old, who was it? Somebody? Barnett, was it? It's come on for him?
Yeah, I don't know where he plays.
James, you're from West Cork. Nice. Whereabouts?
Who would have thought Van Nistelrooy would have blanked these last 2 game weeks? Well, I suppose he got an assist last week, but I'm counting that as a blank still.
Yeah. Simon Barnett, cheers, captain.
Wait for Colm to put some sort of reference to haircuts or something in the chat. I'll give him a little bit of ammunition there. Sylvester hasn't broken his leg. Yeah, he's got 2 assists. There you go, Colm. Beat you to it, mate.
Those
called it in advance, didn't I? Predictable.
Yeah. Hendry yellow card.
AD Tour bench Gary Kelly. Why are you benching these defenders, AD? Don't do that.
That's not a very good result for Villa, is it? 2-0 at home.
No, Man City have got this in them though. They got tonked in an away game like unexpectedly recently. I can't think. Was it Bolton? Someone beat them like 3-0. But I was quite surprised when it happened that they were that bad away. Mm-hmm. More often than not, they're usually involved in a bit like Blackburn and Chelsea. Most of their away games don't tend to be that high scoring. So this result doesn't surprise me.
Did you see that Whelan's on for Marinelli? So that'll be Salakovic back to midfield.
I think Whelan can play. He's not just a forward, is he? Is he
forward right centre? I can't remember. I would thought that Whelan would go up top and Salakovic drop back to the middle.
They might just keep the same formation and push Salakovic into the Marinelli's role in midfield with the up arrow and then just play Whelan with the AMC. I think they could do that. Mm-hmm. With Johnson running the game since he got away with that.
Someone.
That's a
Langley barged Ricard in the back. Is it a penalty?
Festa, is it?
Turn it down.
Would have been a big Festa moment there.
The awful decision by this referee. We've not had a red card yet, have we?
No, it's one thing that repeats every week. There's red cards. It's penalties. That last week was, what was it, 5-6 pens.
Mm-hmm.
This week, we had a week earlier in the year when there was about 200 banana shots in the same game week. Good Johnson's gone off.
Oh,
2 points. 2 points locked in. You obviously ain't going to get any bonus. He's probably paid a 5 or something.
Yeah.
Again.
Here goes Johnson again. Overhead kick.
John Terry trying to get some.
It. Did he dribble the ball and then do an overhead kick?
Good news for Arsenal at last, though. Maybe I know Chelsea aren't the most adventurous away team, but maybe the Lescott-Campbell partnership's going to become something.
Should be decent. Hit the crossbar again.
I'm intrigued to see how well Lescott does. Matt Holland then for a double. I say at Derby, he had quite high potential for bonus points, Lescott.
He was quite good, wasn't he? Was he 4.5?
At Derby, he was, yeah.
From when I
started from Wolves.
So I saw on Twitter today, it's the 2-year anniversary of the first preview stream from season 1, and a bit of a screenshot of the Google Sheets. It was nice to see that.
Yeah. I remember spending the first hour on the screen getting some sort of error message because I was trying to do something that the sheet didn't want me to do.
Yeah. If you did one thing wrong, that was it. You ruined the sheet. I don't know if you can hear my little girl crying in the background. Apologies.
No, I can't. No, I can't.
She's really kicking off. I think she's on 0 returns.
He's got indigestion. Someone's pointed out Johnson got booked. My third striker gets 1 point every game week. I had Boxic get 1 point in that role. I had who else did I punt on in that third striker position? They didn't do very, very well either.
Ben Graham saying he's going to raise transfer out Johnson. Definitely do not do that. You've got 3 plum home games coming up.
Yeah, but Van Nistelrooy had plum. Poor news for Benno. Dublin's gone off without contributing. Balaban is on. God knows who that is. Lee Croft's on for Jermaine Wright. Benno's got him as well. What a bad 10 seconds that was for Benno.
Was it Benno wanted me to do? Was it the Maradona thing? He does that.
Yeah.
That one's for you, Benno.
I think Benno will be pulling different shapes to that in his house right now, having 2 of them.
Here comes Marchant. There we go. You called it.
Up against Paz and Paz and GX. Yeah, that was never going to work out.
Do you say that Garforth Town should be proud of their youth product?
Who's the youth
product? Are they one of Garforth Town? I think there's a few teams in this game that will get all the plum regen players, and I've got a feeling Garforth Town are one of them.
Do you find Wolves to be one? I always find Wolves do really well for regens.
Do they? I hadn't noticed that. Is that right?
I don't know if there's is it.
I think Braintree are one of them. There's another one I can't remember as well.
I'm not amazingly good with
Libra's off.
At least the -4. Good Johnson to Libra is not proved worth it, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got 1 pointer as well. I think he got booked. So 1 point.
Yeah.
In my knowledge of the editor in the background isn't as strong as some people's. I don't know if there's something in the editor that in some way helps a team get good regens.
Yeah, there's
Gary Teal. Yeah, Gary. Both the wingers
off the bar.
Both the wingers for Sunderland.
Yeah. I think it doesn't. Sometimes, if you've got a really, really good top youth academy, you can still not get players coming through for some reason, and then other teams that might not be that good, and you still get plenty of young players. It's really random. It's just quite flawed.
Robin, here you go. FPL Red Arrow Robbins just said Braintree and Alfreton.
That's right. Yeah, Alfreton's the other one. Cheers, Robin.
I hadn't noticed that before, to be honest. Those sort of non-league teams.
Yeah,
so I noticed Wolves a little bit.
Gainsborough as well. That's right. The other thing that's good to do, I've clocked on, is just going through under 21 squads. So if you just go through Sweden's one, Greece's one, you can find some really good players.
I like doing it at Holland. You usually find obviously Holland have got good players that retire. I don't know how long he's in the game before, like the Clivert retires, for example. I think he's probably not a good example. But if you play like 5 seasons, a lot of good players for Holland retire. I'm pretty sure on one sim I had Overmars's regen and players like that. There's a
way of working out who they are because 4 of the attributes don't change. I think it's something like aggression, balance, bravery, and flair, or something like that. They never change. So if you know the 4 attributes for those 4 for the player who's retired, and then the regen comes through, you can work out who it is. And it's also, they always have the same foot, and they always have the same nationality, or it can sometimes be dual as well. There's one other one as well, but you can work it out, but it's just a bit of a faff. JB
My
Mac, enough shot.
Save, I had a guy called Javier Romano up front. I was managing in Italy. I was managing Juventus, I think. And I'm pretty sure he was Crespo's regen. I got him out of Italy for like 375 grand when he was like 18 or something. I'm pretty sure he was Crespo's regen. And he was amazing for about 10 seasons for me. He was my sort of main striker.
Yeah, Robin Wells, aggression, balance, bravery, and flair. That's right, yeah. Gronkia not been mentioned once, I think. Yeah, that's right, Eric. He's not done anything, has he?
I don't think his name has come up once on the screen.
No.
To be fair, Middlesbrough haven't actually done a lot in general. I think Johnson's been quite involved, but most of the other, like, I know Zeppelin has got an assist, but I don't think he's really been involved. Ricard doesn't feel like he's touched the ball loads.
It's a funny one with Zepeda because he was great last season. He's just not been there this season at all, has he?
I'll give Middlesbrough a bit of a pass. I think if you look at the first 12 game weeks, I would argue their fixtures on the whole have been the worst. They've had little patches of like 2 or 3 games that have been okay. And I own Boxic for a few periods in that. But they've not had a good solid run yet. And they say they've played a lot of hard away games.
That's an argument for getting a Borough defender in now then, isn't it? Because they're just not, you play him every single week.
Yeah, I got Oncho for that reason. I'd say I love him anyway. Put him up I wouldn't say my favourite player in the game, but I think in this sim since season 1, I've just had he's been my favourite player. I always preferred him to Hip here at Liverpool, much to my detriment most of the time, but I always wanted him.
Yeah. Well, I think Luke used to say season 1 that Honcho was better for bonus, but Hippier had the pens. I think they were the same price.
And him and Southgate will be very similar. Now, I think he could have done a lot better, Honcho. I don't think his injury proneness that's that high, but he's another one, a bit like, I want to say his injury proneness is about 13, and he seems to get injured like 2 different times a season, which probably is a lot for someone whose injury proneness isn't the highest. I say it's not low, especially, but he's had quite a lot of like minor injuries that keep him out for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Do you want injury-prone defenders because it's an area we're not really wanting to make a change, or strikers you jump on and off?
Yeah. I may regret getting him. I'm sure he'll get injured just as Southgate comes back, and I'll have to be forced into dealing with that. But I can't resist sometimes. You just get players that you like owning.
Here comes Pires. You've still got him, yeah?
No, I sold him for Nedved.
You sold him. Johnson unmarked. Oh, over the bar.
Look at all these 2 goals, quite a lot of 2s. No one's got 3 tonight yet. I know Mark talks on the Man on Sim Data pods about teams getting 3+ goals.
Yeah.
And uses that as a metric to make his decisions, which teams are most reliable for 3+ goals. I think Man United got it in, obviously, to have a 3.1 average. It was a lot of games.
Oh, Tommy Smith again. Unbelievable.
I didn't realise he scored earlier. I thought he got the assist.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, another return. That's what I'm trying to say, yeah.
He got the assist for Noel Williams, didn't he, earlier?
Yeah. My other option this week...
picture assist.
I was going to get Ruud out and O'Brien out and bring in Veron and then Tommy Smith. That would have worked out all right as well. And I would have kept Viduka. Henry wide.
Obviously, the good thing with Smith, though, there are others around his price point. He's probably got more scope to score in away games. The likes of One Chop, I know he scored tonight, but he's not particularly reliable away from home. Man City set up quite cautiously.
Yeah,
you don't really want to be playing One Chop in away games. I would say the same for like Lee Hughes, who can be good at that price point, but
yeah, he's done nothing, has he, so far?
even Dublin, I don't know if he's most reliable. But I think Smith, you're getting someone that's maybe not quite as good as at home as some of those, but I think One Chop's better at home than Smith. But I think Smith's a lot better than One Chop away. So I think overall, if you don't want to be making striker transfers, I think Smith's probably the better permanent hold because you can play him and have reasonable expectation in the away games.
So that was last season. Do you remember with Borough? Rickard was much better away, and Boxits was much better at home. So I don't know if there was just a fluke, or if that's just a thing with their stats. But obviously, if you've got Rickard this week, and then they've got away, you obviously want to keep him, and then you can keep him for a few potentially.
It's almost scored.
That would have been popular.
Look at this. Jeff Pitcher getting more attacking returns than Ruud van Nistelooy this week and Pavel Nedved combined.
Unbelievable.
It's pretty steady, Pitcher. I think he's averaging a return like every other week or something.
I just have a move to make every week, which means I don't get him in. Perhaps I should have got him in instead of Gronkia this week. Yeah, fair play to anyone who plays him.
Convinced Baker in the Discord that he had 2 free transfers and his team actually looked quite good and he's still stuck with Burton O'Brien. And I said, rather than burn the transfer, you might as well just move Burton O'Brien to Pitcher.
I saw you say that, yeah.
And I think he played Pitcher as well, so it's gone well for him. Moyd, I'm on a -8 and my only return is a Rio Ferdinand clean sheet.
Oh. Don't worry, that'll be gone soon.
That's worse than me, to be fair. At least I've got a Viduka goal, a Pitcher assist. And how many clean sheets have I got? Honcho.
Marky Sharky. Who's this Henry Wide player? Is he a regen? I love it.
Yeah.
Henry Wide. Yeah, so Pitcher's not alive in real life.
Really?
I googled him and I found out he's not alive. Yeah.
I'd never really heard of him as. Obviously, I knew he wasn't a regen, but I don't remember him playing professional football. I don't know what level he got to legitimately.
I wonder if his family knew that his legend lives on every Thursday.
Something wrong with me in this guy. I've got a Hugo Ekiog. He's obviously not alive anymore. I've got a team full of. I'm about to say something in bad taste. So I best not say that. I was about to say I had a different version of a dead team, but it's probably not. That's probably too much. I take that back.
Luckily, that's been avoided.
Yeah, but I've got Ekiog in my team. Pitcher now, you're telling me as well. It's
Is Ekiog not alive?
No, he died. He was at Tottenham's academy, wasn't he, as a coach?
Oh, was he?
Yeah, something happened a fair while ago now, 4 or 5 years, I think, Ekiog.
Oh, I didn't realise that. Larson be given to the ball. Emmerich Larson goal.
2-0 leads. This is more like it. Oh, Ferdinand.
Was that a Rio assist? Have we got you a return?
Is that the second return of the night? Was it Moyd who said that?
Yeah.
He's got a clean sheet and a good stat for the defender pod this week. Ferdinand came out top for a lot of things, and now he's going to help himself to an assist and a clean sheet, maybe some bonus points. What's up with Pitcher then? What happened to him? Do you know?
No, I'd seen that he'd passed away, and then someone just mentioned it on the chat. I'm not sure what happened to him. Pitcher is a Brighton legend, yeah.
This is Brighton, obviously, at like tier 3, tier 4 level, though, isn't it? I can't say my knowledge of Brighton at that level. Oh, Clapham's gone off. Lovely clean sheet locked in for Jamie Clapham.
Nice.
Yeah.
I took out Clapham at my 4.5 to Rufus. That went well. Elliot Lander, Pitcher is a Brighton legend. Are you a Brighton fan then, Elliot? There's not many of those knocking about. So I remember when Brighton lost their ground and ended up having to play at Gillingham for a season or two.
Clapham, says Cole. Not Clapham, he's got 6 points locked in, buddy.
Yeah, nice.
First contribution he's given me in 3 weeks, but I'll take it. Got 1 point against Watford, then no-showed last week. So I deserve something off him.
It was quite punty.
So he may have given himself a stay of execution. He may survive next week now as well. Can't remember what Ipswich's fixtures are like looking ahead, to be fair.
Sure, I think they've got away to Leeds, and then they got a decent run of 3.
He's got the Harpel Sin situation, though, Clapham. I think when they play a short up arrow or no up arrow, like Leeds very rarely play no up arrow. It's usually the short one or the long one. Ipswich do sometimes obviously play the back 5 in hard away games with an actual left back, not a wing back. Or they do play some formation. I think it's usually when they play the DM, where Chippo did really well the other week. They can play wing back with no arrow. And in any of these 2 formations, Craney will probably play. And Clapham won't, but Clapham will play probably the good home games where they maybe play the bigger up arrow or even the short one like tonight. So he's a cheaper version of Harpel Singh really in a worse team. But maybe he's not the worst hold in that scenario, right? 4.5 benching most weeks doesn't show. You get
Maybe
him in
not.
the better home games.
But they've been pretty awful, Ipswich, haven't they? This is the first. I can't remember them the last time with a clean sheet apart from today.
Here we
From
go.
Chadwick
Here's the goal I didn't want.
to York. Oh, thank God for that.
I can just about cope with Nedved doing nothing if Chadwick also does nothing.
So Skimica, did you see that Skimica on for Hendry? So that's now Skimica marking Van Nistelooy. Trying to change things.
Yeah, I don't need a big swing between Nedved and Chadwick. I can just about tolerate Nedved not doing anything if neither does Chadwick. If those 2 do the same, then it's not too bad. It's like 50-50 call like that one. You don't want like 10, 15 point swings over multiple weeks on a 50-50 call, do you?
No.
Oh, Villa, chance for Angel. It is Balaban stealing Dublin's points. There's the goal. I think that's an assist for Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man City clean sheet wipeout if anyone's got. I don't really remember seeing anyone's teams on Discord or anything with any Man City defenders, to be fair. But someone might have a Hurtado or a Howie for 4.5.
They're not really kind of players you want to own, to be honest, are they?
Don't get enough bonus points. If one of them was semi-reliable for bonus points, I think they're probably a bit more reliable than Sunderland for clean sheets.
McQuilkin can be quite good at their left back, but I think he's 5 million, so he's not really worth going there.
Pete Carter still on 0 returns. Anyone else? You must have a clean sheet, Pete.
There's not many left. You got Arsenal, Ipswich, and Leeds. Oh, hang on, sorry. What am I talking about? United and Middlesbrough. Yeah, I'll blame the blurriness.
Yeah, 2 best. Yeah, I suppose it's possible someone hasn't got a Man United defender. You assume most people have got one, but
yeah. Oh, there's Gronkia. Is it finally mentioned?
He got Quinton Fortune dribbling past him. Come on, Middlesbrough, keep that clean sheet. Good start for Stefan Oncho in my team if he keeps it. Oh, Pete's still got Ian Hart. He has got something then. No attacking returns, but he's got Hugo Ekiog for his standard 5-pointer with a clean sheet and a yellow.
Fair play, anyone's still got Ian Hart. They deserve all the clean sheets they get.
The big bad.
Titoff in the area. Go on, Titoff, for the hat trick. Oh.
Fantasy connections confuse me. Fair play to Craig while still having the big bad. Who have I got who's the big bad? Do I have to explain that one? I might be tiredness might be kicking in. Let me have some more coffee. I might the bit more coffee might work it out. Robbie Keane on AMC for IMR for the last 9 minutes. Clean Pete wipeout. Who's Pete?
Tito over the bar.
Who told me not to get teed off? No comment, Shane. Wasn't me.
Oh, they've got that Speltinks as the referee in Man United Bolton. I'm surprised no one's been sent off yet. Go on, Veron. Oh, he's been very involved, isn't he?
Yeah, you wouldn't want him shooting with a floated free kick. You expected to put a bit more oomph behind a sort of goal-bound free kick than floating it in, wouldn't you?
Shane McCarthy. Who told me not to get teed off, Mr. Gills? Yep, that was me.
I talked about COVID fantasy connection. I haven't got it anymore. Clearly, I'm over that now. Luckily, I've had a week of no COVID. I feel fine again now. Seven minutes for Ruud. I've been so anti-Ruud for like 2 seasons and getting so annoyed by his constant stream of late goals. It'd be nice for him to actually get one when I own him.
He's not done it this season, has he?
I'm interested to know if he's going to get. He's so good for bonus in home games. I think in season 1 he only had 1 home game all season. He didn't get any bonus points. I think season 2 it was like 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So I think since this sim has started 3 seasons, at most it's like 4 or 5 home games. He hasn't got any bonus points, which is incredible. Really, you look at like 40 odd games there, and only say 5 at most. I think he's got no bonus. Clearly, ain't done very much tonight. I think say he had about 3 headers. Is that going to be enough to get bonus points?
Darren Malloy, how's Headman getting on? Yeah, he hasn't conceded a goal yet tonight. He's doing well.
Panda's probably, whoever's updating the site's probably already put in Headman's 9-pointer, even though he isn't playing tonight. He'll probably be added to everyone's team that's got him.
So Veron's been on free kicks. Is it normally Giggs that's on them?
I think it's another thing that varies, isn't it?
Because he's been on all of them tonight.
Yeah, fair. I think I like when people take risks, even if they're on good players. I think they deserve to be rewarded. And so a lot of cases for Veron, I think it meant a little bit of a reshuffling and probably a hit to do it. So I think it's nice, and when you're prepared to take a -4 and have no Van Nistelooy, like captain,
yeah,
that punt's going to pay off now. You're going to make more than 4 points back on Van Nistelooy captain, as I think.
Yeah, I had him as vice star. I should have gone. I wanted to go Rickard and I bottled it. Yeah, and actually I wish my first move was to get Van Nistelrooy out completely. I just thought it was too risky. But yeah, I think even though I've taken the hits, it should have paid off overall. I think. Just got to hope that Viduka doesn't go crazy against Ipswich next week. What I would do for a bit of a Leeds rep, that'd be good.
I think Van Nistelrooy is not even going to be against Vega next week. He spent the last 2 games playing on the left, Van Nistelrooy, and Vega plays left centre back for Watford. So it's going to be Van Nistelrooy against. Who's the other centre back? Is it Williams or Gregan? Is Williams the centre back?
It was Gregan. I've noticed Gregan and Williams have tended to rotate because they can both play as sweeper.
So Van Nistelrooy is going to get the better of that mismatch. But I say him and Yorker are not prone to switching either. So, yeah, maybe he can score in that game.
Graham S. I really miss Andre Stolchers. Oh, do you remember him for Fulham? Was it season 1?
Yeah,
5 million. I never had him, and I just got destroyed by him every week. He was always getting returns.
He was, because he played attacking midfield, left, right, centre. He's basically nailed, wasn't he? Because he always played in one of the positions.
Yeah, I never had him. I never had Lewis Beaumorte either. And I remember
he could be the manager of my dead team.
Sorry?
Apparently, he could be the manager of my dead team, Andre Stolters. No, Whelan.
Rickard.
No, don't put Rickard up. Don't do that.
Yes.
Oh,
nice.
Always a late goal every week that shafts me. Tarico last week.
More pressure on McLeish. Oh.
I don't know what his ownership was tonight, to be fair, Rickard, but yeah, that's...
Does it update as soon as the site updates the ownership? I'm not sure. I think it maybe takes a bit of time because Hoopier ownership is exactly the same as when I looked earlier in the season, earlier in the week. Let me have a look for Rickard. It was 9%, but I imagine that would have gone up a bit.
Yeah, it's not as damaging as someone like Chadwick. So he's the one I'm usually fearful of. Ipswich looking again.
Who do you look at? What player do you look at fondly from season 1 that did well for you?
Viduka. I had him for quite a lot of season 1 as well.
Viduka. I never had Viduka, and he destroyed me. I had
Phillips. I went no Van Nistelrooy pretty early. I decided very early I didn't want him. I think I had Viduka and York up front quite a lot in season 1. Because there was the expectation with York, wasn't there, that he was too cheap?
I had Kuehl and no McPhail. So no McPhail, no Stolshers, no Viduka. No wonder I didn't do very well.
I'm trying to think now who I had as sort of, you forget that long ago now, which players you had that did well for you. I definitely didn't have Johnson when he was doing well for Borough.
Was that season 1? It was season 1. I don't think I had him either. I can't remember now. Oh no, I did have Johnson.
Yeah, I didn't have him. I'm trying to think who I did have. I can't remember what my midfield was season 1. I had McPhail for a lot of it.
So season 1, I was I was working. I locked down. I had to work. I had to go in to work every day, and I was working on Saturdays. Was the stream on a Saturday daytime, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It's great. So I used to go in, and I was running a pub which was shut down. So I used to go in every Saturday and do a bit of tidying up, cleaning, a bit of decorating, and I'd sit down, help myself to the mountains of beer that was there left over, and I'd just have a couple of beers and watch the stream in the pub on my own. It was great.
Yeah, it's bugging me now who I had season 1. Who was the?
If you open up your sheets, you should still see your team.
I don't know where that link is.
I saw mine the other day. I'm gonna have a look.
I had Veron for a lot of it, but I think even I gave up at a point and took him out. I'm trying to think who the sort of next batch of expensive midfielders was in season 1 after Veron.
There we go. I've got mine. Biscan, yeah, he was good, wasn't he? Klaus Jensen.
I had Biscan. He was about 5 million midfielder, wasn't he?
Yeah, 5 million midfielder.
Yeah,
Joe Cole I had as well.
Yeah, I had Joe Cole.
Wasn't he disappointing as well?
He did very well second half. He was one of those. I think in season 1 there was a lot of players that weren't nailed at the start. So John Terry was one, and obviously as the attributes get improved and the rep goes up for playing, they then become mainstays. And I think about midway through season 1, West Ham finally started to play Joe Cole regularly. I think they had that guy Courtois who played left midfield, and even though he's not actually very good, obviously his rep meant he played more than Joe Cole.
And Highbury. Here come Chelsea.
It's not going to be good Johnson, is it?
My Ashley Cole 7 games in a row with no clean sheet. I wouldn't be surprised if that goes again. Oh, no.
I think Joe Cole snuck into the Veron role, the centre midfielder with the up arrow. I think I had Scowcroft for a fair chunk of season 1 as well. Was he a bit cheaper in mid?
He was, wasn't he? He was quite good, I think, so I seem to remember.
Lescott.
Oh. I just had a memory. I saw my team, and I got in Steve Marley for the Fulham run, and I think I held him for 9 games, and he didn't get a single return.
I had him in season 1 for a chunk.
Rubbish.
Because everyone thought Saha was going to break into the team. He never did, really, did he? Because they kept playing Boamorte up front with.
Oh, that's Flitcroft goal for Man City. So is that 3-1? I can't see. It's too blurry.
Yeah, that's 3-1.
What a way to celebrate your 31st birthday, which was last week.
Great cons.
Love it.
Yeah, Mel Bronk. Yeah, Fulham.
Mel Bronk was a beast.
Despite being fairly crap, they get relegated in the end. They had quite a lot of assets, didn't they, Fulham season 1?
Fulham, yeah, they were really good and then went down, I think.
Because Ed van der Sar, I think, was 5 million, but made quite a lot of saves. Yeah. He was like the early Yussi.
Well, Williams to Smith. Oh, here we go. Tommy Smith again. Oh, intercepted by Benjamin. What's he doing back there?
Is he going to score for my draft team right at the death?
No, he's not back enough. I can't.
Oh, that might be enough for a save point. Go on, Ahmed. It doesn't seem like he's made that many saves today. His name's not been on the screen as much as it usually is.
Yeah.
I think we might be let down. We might only get the 1 save point from Ahmed tonight, which would be a big disappointment.
Here we go off to Old Trafford.
This is nothing. This is trolling.
Final whistle. Love it.
Classic. The two. How can you have Nedved and Van Nistelooy in this home game and get nothing out of the two of them? Absolute shambles. At least I'm not the only one. I think that'll be quite a popular double up, to be fair. But it's still a shambles.
Quite a few clean sheets in this week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Arsenal 2, Chelsea 0. I think it was pretty much to form. Aston Villa 1, Man City 3. Bradford 1, Sunderland 2. Everton 2, Norwich 1, Ipswich 1, Liverpool 0, maybe the biggest surprise of the week. And then Leicester 2, Watford 2, Man United 2, Bolton 0, Middlesbrough 3, Tottenham 0, and Newcastle 0, Leeds 2.
I'm quite happy with that. I said Brooms would stop Phillips from scoring. That happened. I said Marchant would score. That happened. Viduka scored. I thought would have happened against Griffin.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad on the old pre-stream prediction front.
Everyone's loving captains trolling in the chat. It was really good.
Let's pray that he manages to. He's not going to get man of the match. I don't think Van Nistelooy. You'd like to think Veron's in line for some bonus. I think is probably good.
I hope so. Let's have a look. I'll see if I can the bonus kind of. Yeah, the first one's up. So Arsenal 2, Chelsea 0. Should I wait until they come up on the screen?
No, go for it. Go for it now.
So a save point for Kudicini, 3 bonus for Basidas, 2 bonus for Lauren, Ashley Cole, Jolien Lescott, Tikhonov, Johnson, and Melchior.
Nothing for the better owned Chelsea defenders then.
Finally, after 7 weeks of no clean sheet, Ashley Cole finally gets one.
Chelsea, no shots on target is probably a reason why he got a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Chelsea didn't manage a shot on target. Bit unlucky for Henry owners again. I feel like we say that quite a lot of weeks, but 3 shots, 2 on target is not a bad effort for
really unlucky
Thierry Henry there. Chelsea, dismal night from them. Leon Knight had 2 of their 3 shots. He only played the last 20 minutes. So, yeah, well, it wasn't a particularly good night for anything for Chelsea, to be fair. So, shambles all across the board.
So, Villa 1, Man City 3, 2 save points for Enkelman, 1 for Oaks, 3 bonus points for Angel, and 2 for Gareth Barry and Paolo Wanchop.
I've just got to point out quickly, going back to Arsenal Chelsea, Carlo Cudicini got 2 key headers in that game.
Fantastic.
I don't quite know how that works, but unfortunately, in the Villa game, it took a 9 to get bonus points. So anyone that owned McNamara, Svensson, Flitcroft, they all got 8 and didn't manage to get any bonus points, which is unfortunate, right? You'd like to think that would be enough. Good Man City, 8 shots, 8 on target tonight. So very lethal.
Gareth Barry, 11 headers, 10-1, of which 6 were key. That's why he's got a 9. And
Angel, despite only having 1 shot, 1 on target, I think it's the 3 key passes that he's played that have helped him get the man of the match in that game.
Bradford 1, Sunderland 2, 3 save points for Poom, so he's got at least 9 saves, and then 3 bonus points for Tyson, 2 for Poom, and then 1 bonus point for Walsh, Holt, Gunnarsson, Ward, Tome, Issa, Cahill, Teal, Phillips, and McCartney.
Issa and Tome coming that good again for the bonus points.
Yep.
Take that 1 bonus point each.
That's the one way to go differential, getting Tome instead of Issa if you can afford it.
I think Luke seems to be of the opinion that Tome, because he's got better aggression and things, that he's maybe more likely to get more bonus points.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've got any real evidence of it yet, but I don't disbelieve him that it's a possibility. You're very unlucky in that game. Mark Poom's actually got a 9 average rating, but Tyson's got man of the match with an 8. So it's one of those glitch games we've got here.
Everton 2, Norwich 1, 1 save point for Taylor, 3 bonus points for Titov, 2 for McAteer, and for Walker.
I'm still catching up. I haven't got that one yet. Yeah, that's a bit harsh in that game. Loads of 8s average ratings, and Tyson's been given the man of the match, but 9.
A couple of 5s for the Norwich defenders. It's just not a very good formation, is it? I don't think.
Not very good. Yeah, I don't know what to really make of them. They've got bad players in a bad formation. There's not a lot to really be optimistic about, is there?
Titov with 10, 17 headers, 8-1, 2 key.
Next game's in. Ipswich, 1 save point for Pullen, 2 for Kirkland. Kirkland also man of the match. So even though they've conceded, that's a 7-pointer for Kirkland, I think. 2 save points, 3 bonus points, and appearing. Then 2 bonus points for Risa. And then Pullen also with 1 bonus point with Tarico, Bramble, Doherty, Holland, Armstrong, Gerrard, and Heskey. So yeah, big 7-pointer for Kirkland. Despite conceding, he's going to get more points and maybe some of the clean sheet goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Heskey 5 shots, 2 on target is why he's had quite a good game.
I think we have to say Kirkland's nailed now, don't we?
Well, the Dudek's away, right? So
yeah, but even with him away, I think. I mean, he's not come in once, has he, since Kirkland started?
No, fair play to Tarico for getting an 8 in this game. He didn't have a shot. He didn't make a key tackle. He didn't make a key pass. Oh, so he made one. Is it 1 key tackle and 2 key headers? Ugh, yeah, maybe.
Andy Martin's saying he's in the 100 club. I don't know how he's worked that out already. Fair play.
With a blanking captain. Take that.
Years and years of playing for FPL, you can work out the points without even thinking about it. Takes me forever. Right. Leicester 2, Watford 2. 2 save points for Mercedes.
Again?
3 bonus points for Darren Eady. Well done, Makoku. Then 2 for McAnuff, Savage, Benjamin, Neil, Jeff Pitcher, Tommy Smith, and Gifton Noel Williams.
37-pointer for Pitcher, is it?
And
I got a yellow. Yeah, he got a yellow. So yeah, 6. Take that though, right before kickoff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a bit unlucky if you went Benjamin. 4 shots, 3 on target. Usual from the midfielder. So Eady, 2 shots, 2 on target. Savage, 2 shots, 2 on target. McAnuff, 3 shots. No shots at all for James Scowcroft. It'd be a bit unlucky. No shots in a booking. You got an assist, I think, but you.
Yeah, again, we are seeing that strikers against Watford aren't scoring. It's the midfielders that are doing well.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why I went Veron, was so next week when everyone captains Van Nistelooy, I'll be captaining Veron again. You've got to put it on net.
4 shots. It's the AMCs that maybe struggled.
Well, they get the shots, they just don't seem to get the returns because they're shooting from distance. I think you've got to go Nedved next week as captain, Craig.
We'll see. Not promising anything.
Middlesbrough 3, Tottenham 0, save points none. Oh, Sereni, that's all I've got in goal. 3 bonus points for Rickard, 2 for Honsho, and 2 for Slakovic. I mean, I'll take no save points for Sereni if I've got the 2 goals for Rickard. So that's
he got a 5. I don't know if he was at fault for any of the goals, but he's got an average rating of 5. Sereni.
He's been rubbish, hasn't he?
A lot of 8s in this game. Borough clearly dominated this.
So you talked about Chris Perry in the week. So 10 tackles, 10 out of 10 and 4 key, but you only got 7.
Yeah, Honcho, 8 headers, 8-1, 2 key. Yeah, he's the boy. So, I say every week I take a hit. 1 player delivers and 1 doesn't. So it was Honcho and Nedved this week. So Honcho delivered and Nedved hasn't. So normal rules apply for my hits.
Another thing just to point out, Simon Davis, 79 passes is way more than anybody else in the Spurs team, plus 14 headers, 6-1, double what anyone else. He's very much involved. I think Simon Davis is still a really good option.
He only got a 7.
He only got 7. Yeah, he's unlucky.
It's a lot of passes for this game. It's not teams don't play like tick-a-tack passes in this game, do they? 79's a lot.
Oh, we're a bit behind, right? Okay, so Man United 2, Bolton 0, 2 save points for Evans, bonus points 3 for Sylvestre, 2 for Veron, and then 1 for Ehiog, Roy Keane, and Ruud van Nistelooy. I don't know if anything else you want to pick out of that game because the next one's already through already.
Let's have a quick look. 18 shots, Bolton 1 shot, 1 on target. What was it? Veron 4 key, big game for him. 4 key passes for Veron and 4 shots. Massive,
Fantastic.
Isn't it? Right, Van Nistelrooy, I did have 5 chances, 3 on target. So
yeah,
just one of those games.
Unlucky. Evans was just on he got an 8, so their best player. And then Newcastle 0, Leeds 2, 2 save points for Shea Given, and then 3 bonus points for Gary Kelly, 2 for Dabizas, Robinson, Larson, Viduka, and Ian Hart.
Literally all of Newcastle's defence was booked as well, so they obviously got given the run around. But yeah, Kelly proving himself to be the best Leeds defender for bonus.
Yeah.
So Ferdinand looked like quite a good game, still only got a 7. That seems to be fairly standard with him. Yeah, Newcastle at home, 3 shots, 1 on target. That's a really poor return for a team playing at home, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing massive to take away from that from Newcastle. Leeds, Viduka, 4 shots, 3 on target. I had the players this week. All my players actually did quite well, just minimal returns, just the variance kicking in.
Olivier Bernard, I think, had the least passes and the least completed out of any Newcastle player. He was pretty nullified then on the left. So, yeah, because he would have been up against Gary Kelly.
Gary Kelly managing to outdo 2 players down that side. There's 2v1 outnumbered, and he's still running the show against 2 left backs, basically.
Team of the week. So Robinson in goal, and then Gary Kelly, Ferdinand, and Silvestro, three leads, and then Mikel Silvestro, the 15-pointer. Midfield, Darren Eady, the 10, Titoff, the 15, Roy Keane, Veron, and Basidas, and then up front, Tommy Smith and Hamilton Rickard. I've got 4 of those.
So you've got 15 for Sylvester, 15 for Titoff, 10 double to 20 for Veron, and 13 for Rickard.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's an amazing effort. So that's 63 points just from those 4 players you've got.
Yeah, -8, but yeah. Yeah, I haven't really been on here. I haven't really looked at my my overall score. I've kind of got no idea. But yeah, I think it's a fairly good week.
I think you've done well. You've offset Sereni's 0, I think.
Is it 0, is it?
It was, well, 3 goals conceded and no save points. Is that 0?
What do you reckon? Yeah, I think so. What do you reckon the average was this week then, probably? Because I've seen a few people in the chat saying 79, 63, 62. Moyd with 27. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I think it could be a week for about... Well, I don't know, because a lot of people are captain Van Nistelooy. So,
yeah.
Or Nedved, like nothing, quite highly owned.
60, 65? Maybe 60, I would imagine.
60's normally about the average. I don't know if this is a good week or not, really. I don't know if a lot of the highly owned players did anything. Chelsea defenders, nothing. Van Nistelrooy, nothing. Nedved, nothing. I know you've had a good week, but I don't know how many. None of your 4 are particularly. Maybe none of them are that highly owned. They're all probably around 10%, aren't they? Sylvester, Veron, Rickard, and Titoff.
Veron's quite high owned, but I think a lot of them are dead teams. I think it was 20% when I brought him in.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's easy to think it's been quite a good night, but I don't know. Maybe it isn't. I think 60 is probably is steady tonight. Big red for you. I don't know where you were before tonight, but you probably jumped about 50 places, I would guess.
I'd slowly dropped from 28th down to 66 over the last few weeks, so that should be a jump back up.
I'll give you outside chance of being on the first page tonight.
Yeah, I've not been on there yet, so
yeah, I think it's possible with this. If you're going to be about 90, aren't you? You'd like to think the rest of your team can get sort of 30 points between them.
Yeah, I can't even think the rest of my team is. So I'd leave her a 1 point. I had Van Nistelrooy, so that's
3.
He got 1 bonus, didn't he? And then I think I vice captained him, so 4 points from him. Yeah, but yeah, enough about me.
No, it's always good to talk. I say on the stream, most people don't do that well on this stream. I say most people on your seat do. Benno tends to have a good night when he's in your seat. So I do think there's some. It was just coincidence to start with. It's happening too frequently now. I don't think it can be coincidence anymore that you need to sit in that chair.
No, I had a rubbish week last week, so swings and roundabouts.
Cool. I think we're done. Thanks for joining, everyone. Hope you. So bad luck, Moyd. I don't know if anyone else has been as bad as that. It happens. I think it's fair to say most managers will have one absolute shocker in a season. But I think I've had weeks before where 20s and 30s usually get one over the season where everything just goes wrong.
Yeah. I've seen one guy got a 7-pointer once last season, didn't he? Was it season first before?
Oh dear.
Legendary.
It must have taken a -32 and forgot to push his wildcard button or something.
No, he didn't. He didn't take any hits. He just had such a bad team. He got 7 points.
7 points.
I think he captained someone who got sent off. I think was it Tarico. I saw it a few weeks ago. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thanks, Captain. Thanks, Craig, for having us on, and yeah, very much enjoyed it.
We'll see everyone again next week. We might get 3 weeks in a row. You never know, right?
Yeah, depends how much housework that Benno's got to do.